Everybody got rent. They might suspend it, but you know you get a bill in the end. And I won't tell you how to feel. You need to feel it yourself. Distracted, attention averted. Blue versus red, the black and white is no different, but people see it in glimpses. Never the full picture, just part of the pixels. President running for something that don't exist, and all political figures pick up like couples and kids, making a mockery of my intelligence. I'm no better. On my way to the epicenter. If you get this letter, just know we had a million exceptions. It's been too many months. Locked in my cell, I need to escape.
ADOS, true. ADOS children, salute.
It's been too many months. Locked in my cell.
All right.
I need to escape. I need a way out of hell. Too bad I'm already home.
We're gonna talk about death.
It's been too many months. Locked in my cell. I need to escape. I need a way out of hell. Too bad I'm already home.
Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. Okay. Thank you all for coming out. Everyone who is in the chat, greetings, everyone. Peace, blessings, and all that good stuff. Love honors all black people. Love honors all human beings. Love and honors to all living beings. Yeah. I don't know if y'all can hear that song playing, but that's my favorite rapper. Check him out. His name is Mad Max, Louisiana's own. The album is titled The Gulf. They got a hurricane down there right now in the Gulf. So when you get a chance, check out Mad Max. You can stream the album The Gulf on Tidal and other streaming platforms. But follow him on Instagram at MadMaxDTR. Yeah, just want to shout out, we know them before they blow up, I mean? This is one of them that's going to do something. Mad Max. Big Ed Fred, Tech Money, Crystal G, 777. Shalom, greetings to everyone. Hey, I am Danger Remy, and our brother OC has been gracious enough to allow me to come and run my mouth on his platform. So if you're not familiar with me, I am Danger Remy. I am your brother Danger Remy, Jedi Knight, Vampire Slayer, straight shooter who always keep it real with you every time. Self-proclaimed. My channel is Danger Remy, and I speak about things that are important, mental illness and so on and so forth, and the direction of black people in general. Also, I am the one who is holding the funds for the brother Othel Wallace, all right, also known as Ozone. I am the one who is holding the funds for his attorneys. If you're not familiar, I'll give you all a quick rundown of what the situation is, who Othel Wallace is. He's the brother that was charged with shooting a white police officer in Daytona Beach. It happened on June 23rd was the alleged incident, June 23rd, 2021 in Daytona Beach. The brother has maintained his innocence, and we are looking forward to his day in court. The problem is that the brother does not have the funds, and neither do we. We do not have the funds to pay $150,000 for a decent attorney. And so we've had to go into fundraising, and we've been raising funds for our brother Othel Wallace, also known as Ozone. He was a member of the NFAC. If you're familiar with the NFAC, you know there were 4 formations, and our brother Othel Wallace, aka Ozone, was at all of them. He is my friend, confidant, and I am an advocate on the behalf of our brother Ozone, right? And so our brother Ozone is currently facing the death penalty in the state of Florida, and we have to save his life, family. So Cashapp, $Ozonelegal. We're currently at about $51,000. We need to get to 150,000 to help give this man a fighting chance. Okay, so please donate what you can. Cashapp is $Ozonelegal. Let me drop that in the chat right now. Sign. Before we get down to what we're going to be discussing tonight, always have to remind everyone to remember our brother who is in peril. His life is on the line. This is no game. It's not a game. Regardless of if you feel like Ozone is guilty or not, well, the brother needs to tell his side of the story, and that is the purpose. In order to support Othel Wallace, you don't have to side with Othel Wallace. You just have to believe that he deserves a fair trial. And unfortunately, in order to get a fair trial, you have to pay, right? You have to pay for justice, or at least your chance at justice. And so that is why we need everyone to donate what they can. Whatever luxuries you can forego, whatever small sacrifices you can make to help save this brother from the lethal injection, to be able to defend himself and tell his side of what occurred on that night, June 23rd, 2021. Please donate. That is the Cashapp, $Ozonelegal. And the website for more information is www.standwithozone.com. Okay, we stand with ozone.com. Going to give it just a couple more minutes to see if we can get some more folks to tune in. I know that it is a Monday night and everything, but let's see if we can get a few more people. Also, everyone help the channel out by hitting the like button, please. It takes nothing, right, to just hit that like button. So let's, we got 51,000. I wish it was 51,000 people watching. We have 51 people in the chat according to the numbers on the screen. Please hit the like button. Let's get 51 likes, because why not, right? I'm just going to be going over some things about that are pertaining to life and death, right? Is there an afterlife? I'm not sure, but how do you prepare for the afterlife, for example, right? So we're going to discuss those things. We're going to get a little spiritual, honestly practical, so yeah, DJ Flicks, big up yourself, rude boy. Janisha, peace and love. 400 years, peace, family. Yeah, we got 58 people in the chat. Please hit the like button. I promise that what I'm going to be discussing will be edifying to some degree or other, right? Okay, let us get started. Thank you, first of all, everyone that has joined us on this Monday night to discuss Ready to Die and getting your life, your house in order. Imagine that, what it means to rest in peace, to literally be able to rest, right? To be at ease. Imagine that death is something like sleep, and imagine or recall a night in which your sleep was tumultuous, like it was really, You woke up the next morning and you were exhausted. You were more exhausted than when you went to bed because your sleep was not restful. You tossed, you turned, you had nightmares, right? And imagine death as being a type of sleep, a state of consciousness in which you need to rest, right? And imagine what could keep you awake, so to speak, or what could prevent you from being able to rest in peace. What could be able to prevent you from resting in peace upon dying? My theory is that what prevents consciousness, what prevents or what would prevent one in theory, I cannot prove this now, in theory, what would prevent one from resting in peace would be unfinished business. My theory is that your ability to rest in peace is a direct result of how much of your mission was completed upon this earth. Right? So you're a living being, you're encased in flesh, and you're here to do some things. And if you leave without accomplishing those things, perhaps you're unable to rest in peace. The other thing to consider would also be that, well, if you leave those behind, right, we're all going to leave someone behind. Perhaps you will be unable to rest in peace if those left behind are not cared for, or they're in a worse predicament than when you were alive, or you've burdened them with your death. Right? So consider, if you were to die an untimely death, just minding your business, bolt of lightning, boom, and you die from that lightning. You weren't planning for it, right? What happens to those that you leave behind? I think that perhaps an untimely death like that, in which one is broke financially, and now those people have to figure out how to bury you, would prevent you from resting in peace. I think so. I think dying untimely and leaving an untidy house behind, burdening your loved ones with your death, will prevent you from resting in peace. And so, obviously, there are degrees to everything, so other things, other factors and situations could occur, right, to make it even worse. But sticking to the basics, right, the fundamentals of your loved ones and your life mission, those are the two things that I consider when I think about life and death. My life mission and the people that I'm going to be leaving behind. How well are they prepared to continue on if I die an untimely death? So are you ready to die? This is an important question because some of us behave as though we are. I see people who profess to be unafraid, not afraid of shit, not afraid of nothing, warrior mode. Right? Okay, and if that is true, if that is in fact the case, and you're not just a poser, a warrior still needs to have his house in order. To bury a warrior, one should not have to create a GoFundMe. Right? He should have already had things in order, right? He should have contingency plans. There should be directions left behind somewhere that someone can pick up and read, right? They should be able to say, this is what Remy said. Danger Remy said this, this, and that. Why is that important? Come on. Well, because people, right? Human beings, without instructions, without written instructions, well, they're going to fight. And therein would lie another burden that you have now left behind on your loved ones. You've left a state of chaos and disarray. And now they're bickering and fighting over, arguing about how they think and what they think you would have wanted. So before you go out here in warrior mode and profess to be fearless and all that good shit, if you catch one to the head, what happens to your children? Especially your children, right? What happens to your partner, your wife, your husband? I see a lot of self-professed revolutionaries, and nowadays most of us are self-professed, right? Self-professed prophet, priest, self-professed doctors, teachers, master teachers, scholars, all these titles we have put upon ourselves. I am self-professed Jedi Knight, Vampire Slayer, straight shooter. And because we have all these self-professed titles, a lot of it is surrounded by bravado, right? Again, we're fearless. And sometimes I see some of these people die on untimely death, and I see GoFundMe. I see people raising money. If you even look at the case of our brother Othel Wallace, who has been accused of killing a police officer, in a situation where we're having to ask for money for an attorney for him. His life is in greater jeopardy because situations were not put in place. I was speaking on a prior live stream, I think that was last week, saying that, for example, if you carry weapons and if you think that you could be in a situation where you might have to take a life, or the odds of that is increased, maybe because of your geographic location, you in the hood, or you in a racist area and you could be targeted for whatever reason, you think that, it is a higher chance of you might having to defend yourself, you should have insurance for that, right? You should have concealed carry insurance. USCCA is one of them, and that's the one I use, so I never really remember the other, like 2 other major ones, but Google concealed carry insurance. If you're carrying a gun, you should probably also carry concealed carry insurance. Why is that important? Even if you're completely in your right, even if some random individual run upon you with an AK-47 and you happen to get the best of them, your family can and will possibly still take you to civil court. When the police arrive on the scene, they might still most likely put you in handcuffs and charge you with a crime for defending yourself. So perhaps it is good to pay a monthly premium to have an attorney on retainer, some type of legal aid or something. And if not that, probably better concealed carry insurance. USCCA, I think they defend you up to $500,000. Right? So these are the things that we need while we're even living. But if the random person that ran upon you with the AK-47 got the best of you, and you weren't planning to die that day, and your house was not in order, Well, now you're leaving behind chaos. Tribe of Levi says, bless your word that I may learn. Honors family. Big Ed Fred said, speak on it. Collective Tribal Consciousness says, does the ancestors ever rest in peace? When they done all they could do here, transitioned and is constantly called back to help our weak asses, do they ever rest in peace? Well, that is a collective tribal consciousness. That is a good question. I mean, most of them probably died untimely deaths, horrible deaths, right? Uh, so whether or not they're being summoned back to help us, I would suspect that they are still spirits of vengeance, right? And I cannot prove that. I'm a very practical person in my thinking, but I speculate that we will learn more and more about what we would call the spiritual world as we evolve. So I think, regardless of if they're being summoned back to help us, well, they have their own unfinished business. You see? And that's my point. Did they have their house in order? Why are we weak? What did they leave us? That's the point, collective tribal consciousness. Did they leave us in a better position than they were? Because if they didn't, perhaps they will not be able to rest in peace. If they have unfinished business, it doesn't matter if we're summoning them back. In theory, they're probably wanting to return to to complete their unfinished mission. Tribal Levi, yes, that was a great question. Peace to the gods. The take back. Collective tribal consciousness said, do they ever get a chance to rest in this world or the next? Who can say? Tribal consciousness also asked, do they ever get a chance to rest? Salute our ancestors, aka the bloodline. Yes, the very DNA, right? The very DNA that we're carrying around. China M says self-preparedness is a must. Indeed, it is a must. No one is responsible for taking care of your house and you. No one but you, right? China M says concealed carry insurance, debt insurance policy. Absolutely. You have to have life insurance. Sean Lang says we need to help this brother. Yes, Sean Lang, thank you so much for your donation. Please follow the example of our brother Sean Lang and donate to the brother Otto Wallace. Right? So again, Cashapp, $ Ozone Legal. That's the Cashapp. All right. And we stand. Let me just drop that link in the chat, y'all. Bear with me for one moment, y'all. I'm just going to drop the donation site in the chat real quick. And I should have already had that in there. So pardon me for being, unprofessional in a sense. Yeah. So get your house in order. I'm going to share a personal story with y'all on why this is so important, right? To get your house in order. Collective tribal consciousness says, as always, some left us better and some, well, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It's a mixed bag for sure. But here's a personal story of why, I take it so seriously to make sure that I I'm intending to leave my house in order. I have a few things set up already, but to be honest, my house is not in order. I have the basics, I'm covered. I have a couple life insurance policies. So if I should die an untimely death, well, my children will have something, right? And I've designated my beneficiaries. That is important. Don't be out here with a life insurance policy with somebody on it that you wanted to take off that's still on it. Don't do it. Don't be out here. The gravity of situations like that, a simple thing that you just needed to log into some account somewhere and remove that person's name, an ex-wife or husband, right? And you didn't do that, and now they're going to take the resources that you left behind and maybe take it from your children. Don't do it. Take care of that. Make sure that where it says beneficiaries, that everyone that need to be designated as your beneficiaries are there, and the percentages are there, right? Probably all of your children are going to get an equal portion. So if you have $1 million life insurance, $500,000 or whatever, it's split between your 4 children, your 2 children, or your 1 child gets it. Or if you have a decent partner, a good person who deserves it, well, they get some and your children get some. But don't leave that shit unattended. It happens. So make sure your beneficiaries are on those lines, right? And make sure you sign that shit. Now, here's a personal story that really made me begin to get my house in order. Well, number one, my name is Danger Remy, and I've seen some danger in my life. I've had close calls. And because of those close calls, I'm like, man, what if I had died that day on that Tuesday evening or whatever, right? Almost got my head blown off a couple of times. Because of that, once I had children, I knew I had to have the basics. I have to have life insurance. I don't give a fuck how broke you are. You're highly irresponsible if you don't have some type of life insurance. You should pay that shit before you pay your Netflix bill, because you can get life insurance for under $20 a month. You should get that shit before you put gas in your car, literally. That's how important life insurance is. Now, my personal story, just a quick story, nothing long. Unconduit says, or you conduit says, I have life insurance myself, wife, and children. It is important. Yes. Big Ed Fred says annual updates. Yes, thank you. I'm glad to see there are people in the chat on the same page. Collective Tribal Consciousness says write and pass your passwords to the strong family member. Yes, we're going to get into that, Collective Tribal Consciousness. That's important. A few years ago, my big sister died. And, it showed me firsthand human nature. And human nature is for human beings, no matter what complexion you are. Don't get it twisted. Human beings get up to some fuck shit. And I saw firsthand after the death of my sister, untimely, unplanned. She didn't think that she was going to die that day. My big sister was only 33 years old at the time, 33 years old. She died giving birth, right? The story goes that she was left to bleed out in some hospital room in Kingston, Jamaica. She was pretty much left unattended, and she died from something that was preventable, right? She had some complications giving birth, and she did not survive. I was in the United States at the time, and I got the news, and she was beloved, right? That's my sister, with whom I share a certain propensity for rebellion, let's say. We were similar in our mannerisms. We were both rebels. I would not see her again. Untimely death. Now, when I took it upon myself to go and try to deal with her estate, to try to get her house in order, to look out for her children, she now has or had 3 children, including the one that she died giving birth to. So I make that trip to Jamaica, and I'm going to help to see what I can do for those who have been left behind. And she did not have much money, so she needed a casket and a burial, right? So I was going to go and take care of those things. And you would see the vultures and the very small beings, right? The people who it's hard to even describe the mentality of some people, like to really understand certain beings that walk upon this earth and how they can stoop so low, right? Like how they can turn something like the death of a loved one or someone who they say they loved into a spectacle. And I saw them turn my sister's death into a sideshow. And it hurt me to my heart. And I saw her children essentially become orphans because their fathers were, well, pieces of shit for the most part. I learned something that day. And I said, man, this is not going to happen to me. I can't allow that shit to happen with my children and my family. You see, when you don't have anything in place, well, all of those who you leave behind in the flesh, well, they have to decide the shit among themselves, don't they? They have to sort it out. They were collective tribal consciousness. They were asked if the hospital was understaffed, likely, and lacking resources, Too many patients, understaffed, not having adequate resources and technology and supplies, all of that, So we came up from the mud, right? We're in the hood, we're in the gutter. That's where I came up, in the gutter, a real ghetto of Kingston. So, you find yourself in Kingston Public Hospital, that's not a good place to be. Just like a lot of Black people here in the United States know, certain hospitals in Chicago, certain hospitals in Jersey, certain hospitals in Maryland, or wherever, New York, we know that people die, or their chances of surviving when they go in there for a serious injury and even sometimes minor surgery, the chances of them surviving is reduced. So, people with sense, they try to steer clear of those hospitals. Kingston Public is one of those places. She should have never been there. But it was heartbreaking to see how people behaved after she died, the ones that claimed to have loved her. People fighting over the few possessions that she had, her furniture, for example. People wanting her coffin to be a certain way, extravagant. They want her corpse to be dressed up a certain way. They want the coffin, her image of her to be, spray painted on the coffin and all this fancy stuff. Never mind that her children are indigent. Never mind that, right? Let's get her the most beautiful coffin. Never mind that her children need to go forward. And I watched people bicker about her small amount of possessions. My sister died without a will. So if you die without a will, you're saying, well, I'll leave it to y'all niggas to figure it out after I leave. That's what you're saying. I'll leave it to the state to do it. A judge in a courtroom, a stranger to decide, okay, well, your auntie, your children, your wife, and so on. By order of the judge, this is what I think they should get. That's crazy. You Conduit says, I hear you. Our intentions aren't just to handle funerals and clear debts, but also to make a way for whoever we leave behind. Yes, indeed. We want them to see our debts as a way to financially change their lives. Yeah, your debt should be profitable. Yeah, why not? Your debt should be profitable, not on some scheming shit and somebody trying to off you because they're trying to collect life insurance. No, not that. But an untimely, unplanned death. It should be beneficial. You don't want to die an untimely death, but wouldn't you want to know that it actually helped your children? I mean, there are people who have killed themselves, just so that the people that they left behind could get something because they were in such a terrible situation. You Conduit says, this is so common and saddening. My condolences to you about your sister and the fact that you didn't truly get to grieve her death, rather focus on financial responsibilities. Yes, indeed. And I thank you, family. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had to, be stern and be thinking about, how much this coffin and, where and when she's going to be buried. And her body has been sitting on ice for weeks. And they're telling us a bunch of nonsense. And they're saying they have to do an autopsy and all these things. And we aren't versed in any of that. And we don't know what's going on. And people are constantly going at each other. So you had her relatives versus her friends, for example. Her good friends versus her relatives. Certain relatives versus others. Me being her brother versus some other relatives who behave like dogs, like on some dog eat dog shit. So, have your house in order. And if you don't have your house in order, it is especially important not to go taking risks, unnecessary risks. Don't flirt with debt. Don't do it because you're not about that. A lot of us, we act right, we behave like we're about it and we don't care and we're ready to go at any time. Yeah. My condolences to the family, Fred, on your mother passing away. But yeah, we can't continue to live like this. There's too much pain that comes from all of that, man. Too much pain. Tishara Phipps, peace, sister. Too much pain that came from something that could have easily be rectified with a pen and paper, or just going online and filling out some shit. Power of attorney. Let me get a 1 in the chat if you know what power of attorney means. How many of us familiar with power of attorney? Drop a 1 in the chat for me. Hit the like button for me, family, please. I know y'all don't know me like that. I'm a guest on OC's channel, but hit the like button for our brother OC. Help the algorithms to bring more people to the chat, to the live stream. China M, okay. Atlas Arms, all right. China M says exactly that part. Don't take that risk if you don't have your house in order, leaving burden onto your family. Yeah, don't do it. Chanda Dixon, Fatima Thompson, Lionel Clements, Lionheart, ADOS Truth, Samantha Cook, Young Elder, Truth Seeker, Peace Family. You Conduit, Cause I Said Cause I Said So. Okay, so we have people in here that know what power of attorney is. And it's rather simple. It's just somebody that you essentially leave in charge of your legal affairs. And you can designate power of attorney for your finances and a second power of attorney for your medical, right? So you can have one person that's going to deal with your finances and another person that has power of attorney over your medical. And obviously, they can be the same person. But if you want to, you can designate 2 different people, right? Because we know everybody is not to be for the same thing. You might have somebody who would be good with finances, but, you don't necessarily want them handling in other affairs. So you designate who you think is most competent and best for the job. But essentially that's all it is. It's somebody that's in charge on paper, right? So they're in your will, they're in your living will. They're in your will, and you can have a regular will and a living will that tells people different things depending on what. A living will is going to deal with if you become incapacitated, you're hanging on between life and death. And because you're hanging on between life and death, but you're unable to express yourself. So you can't tell people what you want done, right? So a living will be the piece of paper that gives the instructions. For example, if I end up in a situation where, I'm on life support and I might be brain dead, well, pull the plug on Danger Remy. I don't want to continue in that state. If my consciousness seems to be elsewhere, just go ahead and unplug that and let the body die. However, if I did not leave those instructions for anyone, well, how are they going to know? How would they know? So those who love you and mean well will literally fight for that now. Because even if some people want you to stay on life support longer and some don't, well, it's going to be easier if somebody can pull up the paperwork that says Danger Remy says he doesn't want to be on life support past 6 months or whatever. And vice versa. Somebody trying to pull the plug, but I want to have my chance. I want to go as long as I can. That's a living will. JLC 30 says your medical power of attorney is sometimes called a health proxy. Thank you, JLC 30. I did not know that. So health proxy. Okay. Collective Tribal Consciousness says I had a mother and husband transition. Wow. Condolences, family. I feel you on that experience. Yeah. Yeah, my father also passed away. But that's a whole different story. I did not go to my father's funeral because that's the kind of non-relationship that we had. And unfortunately, there's too many of those stories too, So Can his spirit, can he rest in peace? He was alone when he died. Not many people came to his funeral, from what I'm told. Here's the kicker: none of his children came to his funeral. And most of them were local there in Jamaica at the time of his funeral, and they did not go. Well, that should tell you everything. That's sad, but my sister was beloved. And it was sad to see that she had nothing in place and that people were causing a sideshow. There's a lot of ignorance. And ignorant people are empowered when there's chaos. When there's chaos and there's no order and there's nothing written in stone, they can come in and start just saying and doing crazy shit. And that's what you want to shield the rest of your loved ones against. The wackadoos. The whack jobs that are going to show up and cause chaos. Yeah. Don't allow it. Don't take it for granted. Do it now. You can have life insurance from your job if you're working a regular job. That's probably not enough. Buy a separate policy. Buy a separate policy to make up the difference. Jobs are notorious for giving you bullshit life insurance. Few $1,000s, 10,000, 30,000, goofy shit. 50,000. No, that's nothing. So, yeah, that's a little something to add to the books, but go ahead and get life insurance that's like $500,000. If you can't get that for $500,000, go ahead and get 250,000. You know, maybe you can get one policy for 250 and you're paying $19, and you go to a different company and get another policy for another 250. Do something. You want hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, left to your children. You don't want them to have to worry about how they're going to pay for your burial. You want to leave clear instructions. Yeah. Yes, opportunists. When you die, vultures are waiting. Not the ones with wings, but vultures. Literally coming to fucking move your furniture out of the house and try literally to take the beer out of the fridge. Yeah, I saw a person concerned with taking the beer. I mean, you want the beer, you want the chair, you want the mattress. Sick. Y'all remember to hit the like button for our brother OC. Collective Tribal Consciousness says not many people are at either, are at birth either. The lesson. Not many people are at birth either. The lesson. I don't quite understand that, to be truthful, collective. What do you mean by not many people are at birth? Because I said so says, my goodness, we came into the world greeted by others, then how painful it must be to leave alone with no one to see us off. Yeah. My father had no one to see him off. but that is the life that he lived. Why would no one come to see him off? Because that's a testament to his character, unfortunately, or, you know. But yeah, sometimes even the best of us, though, die alone, and that should not be the case. You know, but that's a whole other thing, right? About what we, the living, are doing and how we handle our elders and so on. Those who become infirm, those who lose their minds, those who succumb to dementia. How do we leave them? Do we take them to some nursing home and drop them off? That kind of thing. So that, you know, that's a whole nother thing to discuss. But yeah, get your house in order and don't take risks. Don't take unnecessary risks. You know, now is the time where you see a lot of people out here doing a lot of goofy shit, right? People walking up on crates. It's only a matter of time before we hear that somebody died from that. Somebody gonna fall awkwardly and their neck is gonna, you know, twist in an awkward, unnatural position. It's only a matter of time. Somebody is bound to die from walking up on crates. And I would hope that that person has life insurance. Before you go and climb up on the crates, make sure you have life insurance. Is your will written before you walk on the crates? You know? Because some of you you're not very nimble from what I've been seeing. You're not very nimble at all. The way y'all are falling off of those crates, like a ripe jackfruit. A jackfruit is a big, big old fruit, right? And imagine this big old fruit, bigger than your average watermelon. Or even look at it, or even a watermelon, falling from a high tree. Boom! Busting open, cracked. That's how some of y'all look going up those crates. You have no business going up there. You're not nimble. You're not agile. What are you doing? And you don't have life insurance, and you don't have anything, any type of insurance that will compensate you if you're injured, because you can get that type of insurance too. Disability, you know, if you're disabled, but you're climbing up on, you're walking up on crates, taking challenges. Like, it's a very funny guy, perhaps. Chanda Dixon says, they already said someone died from it, and several people have gotten shot during a crate challenge. Nigga. Man, that's niggerism at best there, man. How do you end up getting shot during the crate challenge? Like, so somebody that I wasn't even considering that, but damn, just being around the crate challenge, the whole atmosphere of that shit is dangerous, apparently. Niggas toting guns around. It could be a shooter. Oh, man. So before you even go to the crate challenge, make sure your house is in order. How do you get shot, man? Who's going up on the crate with a gat? Who's packing on the crates? I think I saw a story that somebody was shot while they were on the crates. Bruh, somebody pulled up and seen the person taking the crate challenge and took them off the crates. Well, we got problems. We got some serious problems, So, yeah. There's my sister, the Blasian X Barbie X. Yeah, that's my comrade right there. She's doing big things out there in California. Check out The black intelligence. My memory is the worst. But um, Blaze, please drop the info so people can check out the site for the Black Intelligence Alliance. I think it is. Uh, yeah. How do you die on the crate challenge by gunshot though? who's who's shooting at the crate challenge? We're a interesting group of people. Black Intelligence Alliance. Yeah, I'm gonna drop that link in there. Yeah, how do you how do you get shot taking the crate challenge though? In what world? What's up? Man? Where's my website, man? In what challenge and you get shot though? Had a will. Hopefully they had their shit together. Sorry about that, y'all. Can you hear me? Yeah, the internet. But yeah, that shit crazy though. I'm about to drop a couple links in the chat. Um, hang on a second. That shit is really crazy though, man. The amount of risks that we take, and the fact that we're not prepared if we get hurt or if we die. And then we get into their system, we get into the hospital, we get into the health complain about. And we're now at the mercy of that healthcare system. Maybe this is happening because I got my VP. Bro. All right. I'm going to switch to. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Drop a one if y'all can hear me. Y'all seeing me good? I'm still here, just internet acting kind of funny. Testing 1 2. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Okay, all right, I got you. I think my bro just responded. Hey, big up my little brother, Boss Talk. Boss Talk. Okay, thank you, Fatima. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the internet is suddenly acting funny. But thank y'all for staying with me. So getting back to what we're discussing though. Hey, y'all don't leave yet. Y'all don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. We still gotta get into the nitty-gritty of it. I'm still here. Listen. Oh, somebody asks, Enid says, Remy, what's that around your neck? This is a device This is a anti it's an anti-murderous rage device, right? It's a device that prevents a berserker rage. It prevents um it prevents violence. You know, it's like one of those devices that you put on mutants when you capture them, and it dampens their power. It prevents them from using their X factor. No, in all seriousness, though, it is a device that helps to regulate mood. So it works by bombarding me with specific frequencies, various fields, different, waves, vibration, hertz, different outputs of radio waves. And this is important because it affects my brain and my mood. So on days where mood is difficult to regulate, and it happens, of course, to all of us from time to time, this helps. This literally will mimic melatonin, for example. It mimics it gives the brain the same type of feeling as when melatonin, which is responsible for helping you to sleep, that hormone is released. So I have about 7 frequencies that I can choose from. Right now I'm in relax, on the relax frequency. It is called HAPBEE, HAPBEE, and you can check them out. They're online. So you have the app on your phone and the device around your neck, and you switch your frequencies. So they have various ones. One's for energizing you. One called Happy Hour, which literally mimics how you feel after you've consumed alcohol. It helps you to feel, a little bit more, joyous and loose. Yeah. So that's what it do. HAPBEE. Just Google HAPBEE. Put that in there, Google, and you'll see it come up. All right. Yeah, Chanda Dixon said, yeah, it prevents you from going ham, for sure. It really does. Like, and I take a lot of Kilimanjaro mountain, big powerful mountain of Kilimanjaro. Don't know. Thank you so much for donating. Who else is gonna drop a donation? I just got a donation also from little bro over there. Boss Talk podcast. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out, Boss Talk. He is right now doing a live. I don't know if he's still doing it, but every Monday, Boss Talk does a 12-hour live where he's encouraging people to donate on the behalf of our brother Othel Wallace, who is now facing the death penalty because of a deadly encounter between him and a police officer. He hasn't gotten a chance to tell his story yet. So please, please donate whatever you can, and please help us to spread the word. Please share the website WeStandWithOzone.com. Please share the Cashapp $Ozonelegal. So thanks again, Kilimanjaro. Thank you, Boss Talk, for the funds that you raised and for sending those funds post haste. Enid said, since I only have one child and I have to get all my paperwork, burial instructions, medical instructions, i.e., do not resuscitate myself. Yeah. Exactly. I just put that. This is the first time I put somebody's comment on the screen. Yeah, I'm not a live stream person. Yeah, get all of that together and make sure that whoever is going to be in charge of it knows where that paperwork is. That's the other thing. They have to know, because If they don't know, that's a whole nother thing. Where are these things? Do you have a vacation house? Is it in a safe? Who has a combination to the safe? All these things, these little basic practical things. Who has the password to this and that, Donate to our warrior Ozone. Please donate. Share the link. We send it ozone.com. But yes, Enid, make sure all of those things are sorted out. We are living our life like paper bags in the wind more times. We're the people of hope. I dislike that word. Every time it comes to my mind, I say I don't want to use the H word. It's like herpes, hope and herpes. We're living with hope. Barack Obama, the audacity of hope. Hope is for people who don't plan shit. Okay? If I don't plan shit, then I'm hoping. If I'm in a situation that is beyond my control, I am hoping. If you're pointing a rifle at me and I have no way to defend myself, well, I am at your mercy and I am hoping that you don't shoot me. In that situation, you have no control, so well, you have to hope. However, the things that are under your control, take control of those things before you come out here talking all this shit. Before you go having your internet beefs, calling people out, you're going to fly out to fight. You're going to go do this. This one is pulling up here and that one's pulling up there. Oh man, hey, y'all weed heads or something else. Enid says, is there a THC frequency? No. Actually, I think there is. I'll tell you in a second. I think that's the relax one. There's a CBD. Yeah, relax is what I'm on right now. I'm literally on the CBD. That is the fingerprint of CBD. That's the frequency. So not THC, but close enough. CBD, you know what I mean? It's the cousin, basically. So but no THC though. Chill out. Young Elder Truth Seeker says correct. Yeah. Don't be out here getting into all this shit, man. Like, I see people talking this and talking that, which one is this one and who is exposing that. And it's like, then you end up dying and the internet sees that you had nothing. And it's like, well, guy, how you spend all this time internet beefing and they're now crowdfunding to bury you and take care of your children. Your priorities are screwed up. I see people who want to be teachers, they want to be leaders and all these things, and they're broke and dusty and busted and disgusted. How are you leading the people? How are you fighting for liberation? And your own house is in disarray. That makes no sense, family. You don't have a will, but you're literally out here putting your life in jeopardy. To be a leader, to be someone who is fighting for liberation, puts your life in greater jeopardy. When I was a part of the NFAC, we had people that were threatening our lives. We had white Americans that left where they were to meet us in where we were staging. We had true patriots and Vikings, right? So we were taking a risk. Someone could have died. Thankfully, no one did. But we were taking a risk. We increased our chances. I personally saw, Negroes that pose a threat to us. It wasn't just white people. Nigger nonsense was out there too. I saw Negroes that pose a threat to people in the NFAC as we were moving. I saw Negroes who were threatening to fight us. Negroes who were calling us names. I was personally told that we need to get the fuck out of here because it's my hood. Right? It's my hood, but all these abandoned buildings are everywhere, but you ain't buying none of these abandoned buildings to do shit. Right? And we're here, or we were there on behalf of Breonna Taylor, and you still would try to sully the intentions of that. And that's the kind of person that you need to make sure that you have your will and testament in order for, because you have those in your family. And you can be dead and they can slander you after you die, and they can make up stories and tell lies, and they can be trying to move out your furniture and take things that don't belong to them on some dog eat dog shit. So because those kind of people exist in the world, you need everything written down. Enid said, absolutely. I'm thinking I should also declutter my place because cleaning out my mom's space was hell. Yeah. Whatever you can do to make it easy on those that would be left behind. That's the best. You know, if you don't have a will, the state automatically comes into play. You know, it goes into, if you have no will, it goes into probate. And the state gets to take a certain amount. They charge you for going through probate. So it's better to have a trust and a will set up to avoid or circumvent or go around the probate process. If you have a large estate or a good amount of material things left behind, this can drag out. How many times have you heard of a celebrity? For example, let's see here. All right, let me see. What can I bring up? How often how often have we heard of a celebrity, for example, right? A celebrity who had millions of dollars and still had issues with their estate. How often we seen that go down? How do I put a picture up in there? I gotta next time I gotta do my homework, and you know, I gotta do better. Sorry. But Prince, for example, I think Prince and MJ's estate is still in probate. That probate should never be. When you have millions of dollars, when you own the catalog to the Beatles, your shit should never be going to probate. Can go on for years. Why is it going on for years? Because people are fighting over your possessions, royalties, and all that. It's complicated now because, well, you are filthy rich. Your shit should never be in probate. How could somebody like Prince let his shit go to probate, not have a will? That's what that means. When that shit went straight to probate, this guy didn't have a will. How could that be? You know what that is? That is the fear of death. That is my theory. When you're so afraid of dying, you want to pretend that you will never die. And because you want to live in that fucking illusion that you will never die, you just, well, let's just not think about that shit. Will. Well, maybe it's bad luck if I write my will. I'm I'm implying that I'm going to die. Well, we're all going to die. No one gets out of this bitch alive. Not to my knowledge. No one gets out alive. The exit is death. So I think people are afraid of dying, and it is morbid to deal with writing your will. It is morbid to deal with life insurance, right? So we just don't want to deal with it. And that's how a celebrity with millions of dollars end up not writing a will. Certain degree of narcissism also. And then somebody ODs. And it's a mess. Shonda Dixon says, that does not surprise me. Good evening, Midnight Green. Thank you for joining us. Blaze says, life insurance, retirement funds, and asset protection is important, Black people. Protect your assets, have retirement funds and life insurance. All of these things. Start now. Get started on having something. Even if you only have a 401k, go to that 401k and make sure your beneficiaries are listed. What happens if no beneficiaries are listed? I don't know. But maybe your company gets to keep that shit. That is highly irresponsible. Don't do that. Prepare for death. Prepare for dying. Be ready to die. That way you can rest in peace. Because if you are not prepared to die, then you cannot rest in peace. That is my theory. If I die knowing that my children are going to suffer as a consequence, well, I don't know how I'll be able to rest in peace. The X-Blasian X Barbie X says, add your children to your credit cards. If you're a responsible card owner, stipulation, build your credit, make them employees of your company. Yes, indeed. Give them credit and business experience before they need it. Honors. I wish I could, drop the bomb and have some sound effects and shit like that, because that's how big that is right there. Yeah. Start to help them build credit. Put something in their name, a debit card, a bank account, as soon as it is possible. Start them out. They're not using it, but it's building. You can literally control the activities on it, using the card here and there for some gas, stuff like that, and build their credit before they're 18 years old. By the time they get to 18, they should have at least a 700 credit score. These are big facts. Yeah. Add them to your credit card. That's something that I hadn't done. I hadn't even thought about that. Thank you, Blaze. Enid says, asset protection. Yes, indeed. Blaze says, have a will. It's cheap. It is cheap to get it notarized. You can even do it online. Yeah. It's easy to get it notarized. Enid says, DMX. Yeah. A lot of these celebrities. I use Prince because I was amazed to hear that somebody with that much money could possibly be in that die leaving such a predicament. But DMX too, huh? I'm not surprised at DMX though. But Blaze says, exactly. Talk to a financial advisor, Black people. The knowledge is the power. and the use of that knowledge. 100 Black Rook says, reiterate on the fear of death being the complacency on not getting life insurance. Indeed. Yeah, to repeat, my theory is that people are so afraid of dying that they don't want to deal with any responsibilities that are surrounding death. We don't want to write a will because it reminds us of our mortality. And so we want to kind of pretend that we'll never die. And if I'm never going to die, the implication is, well, I'll never need a will. You see? That's just human psychology now. We don't even have to be thinking about it consciously. Well, if I'm never going to die, why would I need a will? But if I am going to die, well, that's why I'm going to have a will. And maybe it's bad luck to write my will, because maybe as soon as I do that, maybe then I'm going to die. We feel that it's implicating that we are going to die soon. But here's the thing. Untimely deaths happen to us all the time. Literally, people die sometimes from a hailstone, a piece of ice that fell from the sky, a lightning strike, boom. You never know. Heart attack, strokes, all these things. Here's the other thing. If you're not prepared to die, you should take care of your health. I mean, that shit is that right there shows how sick we are. Like, we are so insane that we're literally afraid to die while simultaneously doing things to ensure that we die. We're simultaneously doing things to ensure that we die early. Hey, big up, bro. Boss Talk. Yeah, I was talking about you earlier. I was shouting you out, in fact, before you got in the chat. I was just telling people and saying thanks for sending the donations. No doubt. I appreciate you, good brother. Yeah. We're literally doing things, though. We're scared to die. We have no will, right? Because we're scared that means that we're going to die. But we all got to die. And on top of that, we're doing things to our bodies that will ensure that we die sooner. Make it make sense. A part of your life insurance is your health, taking care of your health. I see people behaving as though diabetes is something that's genetic. There's one type of diabetes that is more rare. I think that's type 2 or type 1. I always forget. But outside of that particular type of diabetes, which is not the most common type of diabetes, diabetes is a lifestyle disorder. It's a lifestyle disease. You can prevent it. You can literally be pre-diabetic. You get the symptoms that you're getting diabetic, and you can reverse that. And you can literally become fully diabetic and reverse that also. How? By simply adding leafy green things to your diet. Doing a little bit of exercise, getting some sunlight, and elevating your heart rate for 21 minutes per day. Nobody says you got to be a fucking Olympian. But if you want to live and you're so afraid of dying, so afraid that you refuse to even write a will, well, you should be taking the best care of your physical body. To the contrary, those who are most afraid of dying seem to take the least care of their bodies. Make it make sense. I don't profess to be the bravest man in the world, but I'm not as scared as a lot of people are of dying. And yet, some people call me a health fanatic. They would say, I'm too serious about my health. Why are you always eating those healthy things? Nigga, what? Because I want to be healthy. Right? So, yeah. King T, all honors, good brother. Thank you for being a good brother. Thank you for being a diplomat and a mediator. You know what I'm talking about. King T says, salute, brother Remy. We holding it down on Boss Talk. Free Ozone, no doubt. Appreciate you. And my little bro, Boss Talk. Appreciate you, bro. Keep doing the thing over there. Boss Talk Podcast. Check him out later, guys. Yes, Enid. Blaze says, we have to prepare for the inevitable. The generations after us are literally depending on us. Make more Black trust fund babies. Yeah. And you don't have to be rich to make trust fund babies. That's the thing. You don't have to be filthy rich to do that. Somebody had asked earlier in the stream that, can the ancestors really rest if they have to keep coming back to help our weak asses? And I responded, well, I don't, regardless if they have to help our weak asses, they probably wouldn't rest because they themselves knew that they were leaving us in a state of disarray. Enid says, do it like our parents did. Mess up our credit. Mess up our credit when we were children. Do like our parents did, mess up, or maybe don't do like our parents did. I think she means to say, don't do like our parents did, mess up our credit when we were children. Yeah. In my personal life, in my situation, my credit was not ruined, but I was ignorant. My mother didn't know anything about it, so she didn't inform me, so I didn't know anything. And so I went and bumped my head and ruined my credit and then have to go through fixing it. So education is key. Tell your children the basics. Don't wait till they're 18, 17. Tell them that shit when they're 11. You don't sit them down and torture them by making them sit to an hour-long diatribe about credit. No, you don't do that. That's how you turn people off. You turn children off. But what you do is you give them little tidbits here and there. Hey, this is what credit means. This is what a credit score is. You're driving in the car. Hey, y'all know what difference between a credit card and a debit card? Have a 2-minute conversation about it and then move on. Next time again, you hit them with something else. You keep it in their minds. If they can stomach 10 minutes of it, if you can make it interactive. When I talk to my youngest children, my 13-year-olds, about stuff like that, and I've been talking to them since they were literally 10 and 11, I ask them questions and I get it to be interactive. Don't just sit there and talk at them because it's just going in one, coming out the other. But, be interactive and you will be surprised. You want them to know as early as possible. 6, 7, 4 years old, 5 years old. Tell them about credit. Tell them about life insurance, all that shit. Blaze says, deeds and dividends are the best gifts to give your children. Deeds and dividends. And a deed, that's the paperwork for ownership of property, right? Dividends, like stocks and bonds and how you're getting paid out from various instruments, let's say, right? Boss Talk says, what is that on your neck? Just curious, looks futuristic. Yeah, Enid had asked me about it, and I told her it was a anti-psychotic, anti-murder device. It prevents psychotic rage, but it's a piece of tech that helps to regulate mood. It's from a company called HAPBee, HAPBEE. So you can Google it, and it emits various frequencies, radio type frequencies that bombards me, and it helps to change my mood. So I have 6 or 7 frequencies that I can choose from to change my mood, including to help me sleep. So later on, I can switch my frequency and it will actually make me begin to feel sleepy. I can switch to the happy frequency, and I will actually feel a little bit of a stimulation that makes me want to smile and be a little bit more jolly. So, piece of tech, it works, you know. Yeah. Happy. I'm not paid to promote a happy, but it does work. I tend to put it away sometimes and come back to it. I feel, in my personal opinion, but my biology is a little bit different. I feel like if I use it every day, it becomes like, it doesn't work so well to me, or I develop a tolerance for it. So I'll put it away for a week and then come back and begin using it again. Uh, Health is wealth, Blaze says. Thank you, Enid. Enid says using frequencies called happy. Yeah. That's it. Yep, happy. That's what it is. Young Elder Truth Seeker says, I wish I had some discipline with my food habits. My advice to you, good brother, as someone who spent 5 years being vegan and then stopped being vegan for a year and change, started again, and is now struggling to stay on the wagon of being a vegan. My advice to you is start with a little. One of the worst things that we are doing, because this is on topic because we're talking about life and death, right? One of the worst things that we're doing, when I look at our plate, I see a bunch of starch. All right, it's cool. You have your starch, but then I see a bunch of protein. I see white and maybe yellow, like mac and cheese, white rice. And then I see brown. So I see white, yellow, brown, or white and brown. What's missing? Green. So you're taking a bunch of starch and you're taking a bunch of protein that you deep fried and use all kinds of crazy cheap oils like corn oil and shit like that. And that's your problem. So before you go ahead and change your diet to an extreme, what you do is, well, all that brown and white that you're doing, add greens. That's it. Just start to add greens. Broccoli is green and it has a whole lot of fiber. So when you go to the toilet, it will be easier on your bowels, easier on your digestive system. All that roughage will make it easier for you to evacuate. So you want to put greens on your plate. Now, so what you're doing is adding and subtracting. If it's hard for you, you don't do it drastically. So you say, okay, I'm going to add broccoli and spinach to every time I eat, right? Including breakfast. Nothing wrong with putting some romaine lettuce with whatever you're having for breakfast. There's no law saying that romaine lettuce or spinach is not a breakfast food or broccoli is not a breakfast food. That is nonsense. Go ahead and have broccoli with your bacon and shit. That's what you do. Then you say, okay, you know what? I'm ready. I think I can get rid of this particular thing, or I can have less of it. And you subtract that one thing. You know what I mean? So maybe you can get rid of the oxtail, for example. But maybe, you still got to have your turkey and your chicken and blah, 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 but you're not having oxtail. Okay, we're done with oxtail. It's over. Cool. So now I've removed oxtails and I've added spinach and broccoli. Also, the other thing is, don't force yourself necessarily to eat things that you truly dislike, but look for alternatives. I wouldn't eat raw spinach, and some people shouldn't eat raw spinach at all because it has certain phytonutrients that inhibits thyroid function, the little butterfly-shaped gland in the throat that when it goes out of balance can literally drive you crazy. So I don't even recommend people to eat raw spinach. Eat steamed or cooked spinach, right? But even if you eat raw spinach, some people love it. I dislike that. So even if it wasn't going to affect my thyroid, well, I don't like it. So I would go to something else that I like arugula, for example. Well, I like arugula and I like kale. So I'm going to have kale and arugula, right? And if I really dislike eating vegetables, well, I can literally take some coconut milk, pour it in the blender. I can throw some green stuff in there. I can even get a powder now that has like 26 green things, and I can chug. They even flavor it, y'all. They're making it easy for you. You know, we really have no excuses. So go get you a nice green powder and mix that up in some orange juice or whatever, and be an adult, man. Just chug that shit and go on with your day. Some of you act like, you're gonna die. You just bitch up all the way when it comes to doing something for your own benefit. Just chug it and go on with your day. So that's my recommendation, family. That's how you get started. You start to add a little and subtract a little, and you just keep on until one day you wake up and you just got a bunch of good stuff on your plate and you've changed, but not overnight. Right? Young elder, all right, hold on, let me catch up with y'all. Okay. Let me see. Okay, somebody said diabetes is hereditary. Okay. 100 Black Rook says, pardon me, everyone. We are listening to bro Remy. I never knew he could get down like this. This is what I call supporting someone's channel with variety. Appreciate that. All honors, family. Appreciate that. That's a good one. That's encouragement, encouragement. We all need a little bit of that. So I appreciate that, family. King T says, for sure, we all we got. Yep, we all we got. Right? We don't behave like that, but we all we got. Leslie Smith says, shalom, brother Danger Remy. You are right about eating healthy. Reverse diabetes with eating healthy. Exercise and drink plenty of alkaline water. Yes, Leslie, exactly. 21 minutes a day. Elevate your heart rate. Get your heart to beat a little bit faster for 21 minutes a day. Harvard College of Medicine. The thing I would say about alkaline water, be careful. Drink alkaline water that is naturally alkaline and not alkaline water that has been ran through two magnetic or electrically charged steel plates. Like I drink a water. My favorite water is called Starkeys, right? And I only drink the ones from the glass bottle. It comes out of Idaho, I think, from deep underground. You can taste the minerals. It is delicious. It's my favorite water. I can chug a big bottle of that shit like nonstop. But yeah, alkaline water, get naturally alkaline water. That water is naturally alkaline from running over the rocks in the earth. The other alkaline water is man-made. By doing that, they're disrupting the molecules in the water, and the water can, in a sense, become a solvent. So I would dissuade people from just grabbing any old alkaline water. Get naturally alkaline water. The other thing about alkaline water to consider also is that perhaps I wouldn't be drinking it every day, because depending on what your digestive system is like, especially if you're struggling with your digestive system, well, you don't want to dilute your stomach acid too much. You need acid in your stomach. There's balance with everything. You don't want to be too far alkaline, or that becomes a problem for you. And if you're too acidic, that's a problem. So I wouldn't recommend go ODing on alkaline water. Likewise, don't OD on distilled water, because distilled water has 0 minerals in it. And so it's literally best for like a cleansing situation, but your water should have traces of minerals, you know. So that's my advice. Like literally, especially when you're out in the field or you're working, you're exercising, you're out in the sun, alkaline water is not necessarily the thing. My alkaline water would be fine because my alkaline water is natural and it contains minerals and maybe even little amounts of electrolytes, even salts. But if you have a purely, man-made alkaline water, I wouldn't suggest it when you're working out and especially if you're out in a situation where you're constantly sweating and you have to, be out there for a long time under the rays of the sun, because you need your electrolytes and you're going to urinate and sweat and you're losing electrolytes, and that alkaline water can sort of act like a diuretic and flush you. It kind of makes you urinate more. I know that's the effect that some of those waters have on me, and I've seen it do the same thing with other people. They gotta constantly, we driving, we on our way to the formation, and bro, every 45 minutes we literally gotta pull over on the side of the soft shoulder for him to take a piss, going in on the alkaline water. And I'm like, bro, come on. So just everything in balance. But yeah, very good. To the sister Leslie. Enid says, but diabetes is also hereditary. Diabetes is hereditary. All diseases are hereditary in the sense that, and to be fair, there is one type of diabetes that I mentioned that you can get without it being a lifestyle thing. So I think that's either type 1 or type 2, whichever one of them that is. But that's the more rare form of diabetes. The other type, the common type of diabetes, it's not really hereditary. It's hereditary in the sense that if you do these things that your parents did, like having the ham hocks and with the sweet potatoes and the mac and cheese with no greens on your plate, or if the greens are on your plate, it's cooked out till it's turned brown with turkey ass in it. Well, if you do that, the result of that will be diabetes. So in that sense, it's hereditary. But you have to do the behavior that they did for it to become hereditary, right? So in other words, your genetics, in your genes, it stipulates that if you do A, B, and C, you will get Z. And in my genetics, it stipulates if I do F, R, and J, I will get Z, right? So different things. That's how come some people can do a whole bunch of crazy stuff to their body and be relatively resilient. And we can all get cancer, but from doing different things. So in that sense, it's hereditary, but not really. You literally have to behave like your parents in order to get, the most common form of diabetes. It is strictly the most common form now that affects most people is strictly based on lifestyle. Strictly. It can be reversed. And that's how it's lifestyle, because you're doing something and you stop doing it and then the diabetes goes away. I know people who have gotten diabetes, got rid of it, and went back to getting diabetes. Crazy. 100 Black says the only issue with credit is usually we are working for someone. Issues occur, whatever. Then there we go. Yeah, it does definitely require discipline. It requires like walking a tight rope for a time. It does require planning. But a lot of the things that we do sometimes is we get into situations that we should not have been in to begin with. We begin to take on more than we can afford. We start to live above our means instead of stacking for a rainy day. So we don't have the rainy day fund. They estimate that I think 60% of Americans cannot afford an unexpected bill of $400. An unexpected expense of $400, most Americans cannot deal with that. That's how messed up we are. But yeah, 100 Black, it does take discipline, you know. It does require setting up. You have to have a buffer, right, for those unexpected things, like when stuff happens that you don't plan for. You have to have something there, right? You have to have the buffer. That's your rainy day fund, you know, and that should have been given to you by your parents. But if you didn't get it from them, you have to. That has to be your top priority. Blaze says, yes, we have to hand down the blessings. Yes, indeed. Blaze says, does it work against white matter brain disease? Hey, Blaze, white matter brain disease. I don't know, Blaze. I don't. Who had hey, who had white matter brain disease? I'm not sure. Use something else, Blaze. 100 Black says, oh, I see. That's what it is. I have seen you look like you were about to go shake a nut on somebody a couple times. Shake a nut. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Is that for me, 100 Black? I look like I was about to, man, sometimes, yeah, some people do need to be shaking a nut on, you know. All right, yeah. This one, all right. Yeah, don't keep up with the Joneses, man. Get that rainy day fund up. Asking for a friend. Yeah, Blaze. Chill out. Yeah. White matter brain disease. All right. I don't know. Young elder truth seeker says our time and energy is our economics. Yeah, facts. Our life force, you know. It really is. It's our economics. And we're wasting that shit. Most of us are wasting it working for other people. Black gun owners magazine. Salute, family. Yeah. So before I get off of here, I want to just go over a few things that are important, right? Because we're talking about life after death. So here's one of the first things that you're supposed to do in terms of before you die and getting stuff in order. So one of the things is you want to gather your important documents, as one of the sisters mentioned in the chat. I think that was Enid that says, you know, like have everything in one place. So, you know, your deeds, your vehicle titles, your certificates, birth and marriage certificates, all of that stuff, contact information for your attorney, insurance broker, doctor, all of that. Those things need to be in one place so that it's easy for your loved ones to find them. You know what I mean? And then you want to have your last will and testament. Do that shit yesterday. You know, set up your basic will and testament. As Blaze says, get it notarized. It's cheap. Name who is going to be the administrator of your estate. Even if you don't have an estate, you don't own any property, you ain't got shit. But if you have some life insurance, which if you don't have life insurance, you're very irresponsible. You still want to make sure everybody is named on the life insurance. If you have a bank account, if you have a few bank accounts, credit cards, whatever you have, they might not be tangible, but you know, you might have some stocks and bonds. Well, in your will, we need to know who gets that. The other thing is, as I was speaking about earlier, is you have to complete your living will or advance directive, right? And I think the brother said it's also known as a health proxy. in terms of if you give power of attorney to somebody for your health, if you become incapacitated and you can't speak for yourself. Who's going to pull the plug? Do you want them to pull the plug? Do you want to be buried versus cremated? Stuff like that. You can designate somebody specifically for that, and somebody else gets power of attorney specifically for your finances. So, but the difference between that and the regular will is that, you know, it's giving people instructions of what to do when you're still alive, but you're, you know, fucked up beyond all recognition, perhaps, but still technically alive. So have that together: a living will or advanced directive. Put in place power of attorney. We already went over that. You know, who is going to be in charge? If you leave no one in charge, it's going to be problem. Establish a living trust. We know you can put all types of stuff in a trust, right? But a living trust is a great way to make sure your wishes are followed after death, as well as providing for fast distribution of your assets to beneficiaries, avoiding estate taxes, and keeping your financial affairs private, right? So I'm reading this directly from a website, and you can go read that shit too. So it keeps stuff private. So I can own a bunch of properties, and if I put them in a trust, you can't just go down to the courthouse and put in my name and find what, you know, I own, because the trust protects it. It just tells you that there's a trust. When I was getting into wholesaling real estate, you know, trying to fix and flip, trying to play the middleman, because I didn't have enough money to do fix and flips, and I was going to get in by being a wholesaler, trying to assign contracts. Well, I would go down to the courthouse and I would look up the probate properties, and I would see that the probate properties, it would show the will, and it would show who was in charge and who was the executor or had power of attorney, and it would show the properties that were owned by the individual that died, and it would show the heirs, the people who are to inherit the material possessions. All of that is public information. All of it. You could see it all. See what they own. Doctor's office, doctor died, left the doctor's office, left this house in the Poconos, all that stuff. But not if you have a trust. And that's why a trust is important. Blaze says facts. Learn about asset protection, people. Collective Tribal Consciousness says, I looked it up. Hey, man, why we gotta, all right, yo. All right, that's what we do. All right, so white matter is the issue in the brain composed of nerve fibers. The myelin is what gives white matter its white color. Yeah, myelin speeds up the signal between cells and enabling the brain cells to quickly send and receive messages. Yes, it's also like an insulation or protective device, the myelin sheath. You want to consume certain foods like avocados, for example, to protect your myelin. You know, if your myelin deteriorates, it causes problem in your brain. But Blaze apparently knows someone who was suffering from that particular issue. Isn't that fatal, Blaze? Isn't that a terminal illness? Yeah, but thank you for that collective tribal consciousness. I like how you just boom and looked that up and brought the information, boom, and just dropped it. You know what I mean? Honors. Gotta add this. China M says, thank you, Remy. Love your broadcasts. They're always informative and knowledgeable. In other words, you bring the meat and potatoes to the table. Thank you so much, China M. That's appreciated, and it's very much encouraging. And yeah, thank you so much. You know, because sometimes I'm just out here trying to tell people stuff, and I feel that most people really are genuinely not interested. Blaze says, thank you for your hard work and dedication to our education. We appreciate you so much, King. All honors to the Queen Bee, Blaze. Hey, I'll tell you all something about Blaze. And obviously, this is my comrade from also our days in the NFAC. But yeah, this is our hardest working woman on Ozone's behalf. I can honestly say, like, the majority of the first $30,000 we raised, it was her. Yeah, so she goes hard. She really goes hard, and she is a part of the Dora Milaje. Because it's been the sisters that's been stepping up the hardest. On behalf of our brother Odell Wallace. It's been the sisters that have given the largest donations, and they do the most footwork, the most legwork. 100 Black says, does white matter? I don't know. Yeah. Jay the one with it, so ask him. Yeah, I mean, gotta ask. You ask him, Blaze. You ask him. You know what I mean? He seemed to be doing fine in terms of dancing. So Oh man, he said, "Y'all, how y'all doing this?" He said his brain would deteriorate and he would go crazy. I mean, yeah, that's what was said. Yeah, that's right. Brain was pulling itself apart. Yeah, it was. Listen. I don't know. Enid says you can get a copy of a will off LegalZoom. Yes, indeed. Haven't done a living will. Thanks to that, you are most welcome, sister. You are most welcome. Yeah. No, Blaze put in work, man. It's not even a compliment. It's just facts. She said, Blaze says, I made a promise to my comrades and I will keep it. All honors. Yes, indeed. Yeah, but real talk though. That's how we move. Once I've committed to doing something, I'm going to stay, especially if my brother or sister's life is in jeopardy. I'm just gonna keep going hard, So yeah, yo. Hey y'all, to digress for a moment, because I'm not gonna be here on here for much longer. Does anyone in the room have any questions about pertaining to Ozone, or what's going on? I'll give a quick update. So I did speak to him 2 days ago. He's doing okay, all things considered, as okay as one can be. They have put him in extra lockdown. He's only allowed to go outside every other day now. It's like a 48-hour lockdown, and he's only allowed outside for 1 hour a day. We do consider or feel that is cruel and unusual punishment, but that's what he's facing. Yeah, so we look forward to getting his lawyer. We're in talks with other lawyers because the donations have not been coming in like they used to. And so it's looking like to get Funk and Diamond for 150,000, it's looking very much, uncertain, to say the least. So we're in talks with lawyers that are cheaper, so, that's where we're at. We're still talking with other lawyers. We're interviewing. We just got off the phone with a law firm of a brothers. It's a brother that own a law firm. He's from, I think he's in Tampa, and he's interested in the case. But he's also, his experience is not a lot. He's had his law firm for 2 years, but he also has about 4 years of experience being a public defender. So there is that also. Yeah. Um, yeah, Ozone's address is on Instagram. Yeah, you can find it. Ozone's you mean the jail address, right, Blaze? Yeah, you can write him. You can find that info on Justice for Ozone on Instagram, or We Stand with Ozone on Instagram. And it's the Volusia County Jail. Yeah, it is unjust, you know. Enid says anybody in the family who aids in setting up wills or trust. Uh, yeah, anybody who does that, feel free to respond to the sister Enid. You know, but if no one in here does it, Enid, you know, then just let your fingers do the walk and let Google be your friend, and you know, find somebody in the area that can do it. Midnight Green says, I have a I have given a donation. Hopefully others will make donations. Thank you for the update. You're most welcome, and thank you so much for your generosity, Midnight Green. Truly appreciate you. Collective Tribal Consciousness says sometimes they have to keep them segregated for safety. He is in a he is high profile, right? Yes, but this is past a segregation. Collective Tribal Consciousness. They are literally they're literally retaliating or punishing him because of things that people said online, people that are associated with him. So for example, he used to be able to go outside for 2 hours every 24 hours, within 24 hours. And now he can only go outside for 1 hour per 48 hours, you know. So they also reduce his commissary to $10. And, you know, so it's a direct, they even had taken all of his communication privileges. So he wasn't even able to make phone calls. Um, you know, he wasn't even able to send emails and stuff, you know. So yeah. And he's gonna be in I think he's gonna be in general population after this. So Young Elder Truth Seeker says, can he get books? Yes, absolutely. For anyone that does not know, you know, yeah, you can send books directly through Amazon. Can somebody, let me see if I can find a picture of the address. The address, you just have to make sure you have the right address, because I sent $50 worth of books that he never received, because I sent it to the address that was apparently for sending cards and letters. So don't send it to the Pine, whatever, Pine something with a Pines area something. Don't send it to that place. Send it to the other. When you go on the Volusia County Jail website, you'll see the address for to send books, and you will see a different address to send you know, what you call it. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. To send like cards and you know, letters. Let me see. Justice for Ozone. Yeah, let me see if I can. Yeah, Pinellas Park. Don't send it. Don't send for letters and cards. They go to Pinellas Park. For books, they go to 1354 Indian Lake Road. I gotta get a screenshot. Maybe. How do I bring this up, man? All right. I don't know. Let me see if I can put that in the chat real quick. Bear with me a second, y'all. I want to drop that in there so y'all can have that. Yeah, but you can you can send him books directly through Amazon, and then you just pick the address that you want it to go to, and that's going to be 1354 Indian Lake Road, Daytona Beach, 32124. But I'm about to drop that in the chat. Gotta put all this info in here. And of course, his Otto Wallace. Hey Blaze, can you put that info in the chat for me? Because I'm being like, bro, yeah, can you put the address for the Indian Road address with the zip code along with his booking number, or his the 10884 number that you have to have. Make sure you put his booking number, his name, and send it to 1354 Indian Lake Road. 13. Okay, so here it goes. That's the address right there, y'all. And all right, I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna include his booking number 1088-214. Okay. What? I literally added his name. Okay, here it goes. Okay, so that's his name and booking number, and then the address 1354 Indian Lake Road. So that's where you send him books. Yeah. Speaking of human rights, Blaze, Ozone requests urban books. Please send him black empowering, black empowering and inspirational books. Yes, I sent him "You Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins, so I'm gonna have to get that book back and resend it to him. I also sent him a Bible, and I also sent him a criminal justice book, because why not? You're in it, you should like understand the basics about criminal justice. Um, yeah, but he likes things to help to so balance it out. Send him some things that are entertaining too. Some of those stories like urban stories and stuff. Uh, well, the Enid, the Dahomey group, I was asking for all the sisters that are willing to tag on Ozone's behalf and reach out and check for people who might be doing fraudulent stuff, setting up GoFundMe's or Cash Apps or whatever. So I need a team to tag people and to try to bring awareness to Ozone's case, and that's the Dora Milaje, or based on the real women in Africa called the Dahomey, right? So if you're interested in being a part of the Dora Milaje, please holler at me on IG. I'm going to make a group, and then you guys can, message each other and, make a mission for the day. We really need the tagging to keep going. We need people to keep tagging people. We're trying to get Umar Johnson to speak on it. trying to get Professor Griff to speak on it. We're trying to get Doggy Diamonds to speak on it. We're trying to get Sonetta TV to speak on it. You name it. If they have a platform, we're trying to get them to speak on it. So we need you to tag these people to content speaking about ozone. You can tag them to the content on Justice for Ozone. That's at Justice for Ozone on IG. You can tag them to stuff that's on there, especially the shorter videos that's talking about ozone, or even pictures that have a caption that's talking about him or the fundraising. But we need that. That's paramount. So if you want to be a part of that, sister, send me a message on IG. And once I set up the little group, then y'all can just interact in there and decide how the tagging is going to go and who y'all going to be tagging for the day and stuff like that. The more people we have doing that, the better. Okay. Keenan says, so they are violating his Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights. Yeah, but within reason, So what their stance is essentially that, well, he's able to possibly influence people from the inside, and they say that they're concerned that he could influence people to harm law enforcement. Obviously we know that, that's not the case, but that's their concern from their perspective. So so they're within their rights, because here's the thing about being in prison. A lot of things is at their discretion. So, it's at their discretion. So they have a great leeway. They can say, well, this is a matter of safety. It's a matter of their own perception and judgment. But yeah, even the human rights activists, Blaze says, we need human rights activists to take notice of the case. Please help spread the word and awareness, everyone. Yes, we do. And I did have a human rights group reach out to me on Sunday. But when I called them back, apparently they were involved in some type of broadcast. And then they got back to me and I was sleeping. And then today I forgot to call them. So I'm going to call them tomorrow and see what's up. They're called the Pendy. And then something, I can't remember the name of their group, but they did reach out to me on Ozone's behalf. Apparently they were referred to Ozone by someone, and O told them to call me, so I really got to get on that. But I've been more focused on just trying to get this attorney, man, because yeah. Okay. Yes, we do love our brother Ozone. Keenan says most of so-called black activists only speak when they get publicity and still have that fear of the man getting them. Yeah, the real ones are being picked off. Yeah, also the real ones have to move more strategic. They have to, some of the real ones are too obvious. It's as people tend to say, this is chess, not checkers. Young Elder Truth Seeker says, what about a bookstore I know about for PP? What about a bookstore? Yeah, I mean, if you're asking if you can send it from the bookstore, yeah, I suppose you can. You can send it, you can mail it yourself, to directly to the address, but I'm not sure exactly what your question is there, but yeah. Black Power asks, what about Vicky Dillard? She did speak about ozone, I think, on 2 occasions. I haven't asked her personally, but feel free to ask Vicky Dillard, if she would be willing to help us in a fundraiser. That's what we need. We need a fundraiser for a few hours where we want to get a bunch of people to contribute, and we are going to give out a prize, We're gonna put people's names in a lottery, and somebody can win a prize for if they've donated. So one donor will win a prize, and that's what we're willing to do. We're looking to do. So if we can find somebody to host, and the reason why the host is important is because, well, we want hundreds of people to be in the room for it to work. So and we could just do it on OC's channel, but of his 13,000 something subscribers, it doesn't seem like they're showing up for whatever reason. But the algorithm also kind of hides your channel if they don't like what you're speaking about from your subscribers. So Collective Tribal Consciousness says, Enid says, if it ain't anointed, Vicky won't move. If it ain't anointed, all right. Well, she did speak about ozone twice, but yeah, you gotta bang the gavel. God, today, talk black to me. God, today, I kid Vicky. Collective Tribal Consciousness says, I'm glad you are doing these lives. It should cut down on the calls which are keeping him in segregation. Yeah, I constantly speak about that, and it's actually put me at odds with certain people who are very ego-centered and selfish, in my view. But I will continue to speak on it as it affects my brother, who is sitting in a 6x10 and cannot see the light of day for 48 hours. So I really don't give a fuck who might take offense. I'm going to continue to speak on it on Collective Tribal Consciousness because it is important. It's not about me. It's not about us. It's about him. And ultimately, his case affects all of us if it sets precedence. If Ozone wins this case, it means a lot to your average citizen and how they might be able to possibly even defend themselves against law enforcement, even in a stand your ground state. Because as it is with the laws written on the books now, essentially you can't defend yourself even if the police are killing you, right? Even if they're killing you and you know that your life is in jeopardy, you dare not defend yourself, because that will be used against you. Because how dare you? Because your life is worth less than theirs, and they make that very clear. Right. And they go on to also show you that, if a cop is killed, and as we say, we don't want, police officers to be hurt, and we want everybody to go home to their families. However, when a police officer is killed, they say justice will be swift. That's what they said with Ozone. They said they knew everything they needed to know. This guy is cold-blooded murderer, and we need to get him. They had come to the conclusion, judge, jury, and executioner. However, when a police officer kills one of us now, right, what do we get? Well, the guy is put on paid vacation, and we're told to wait for justice, right? But not so much if a civilian kills a police officer. It doesn't matter what the context was. You're automatically guilty. You're scum of the earth. You're the worst thing. And if you even try to raise funds to defend yourself, you're also scum of the earth for helping him, and we need to shut that down. All these things, and the cop is a hero automatically, and you're the villain. Understand? And that is what we're fighting, and it takes money to do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is what it is. Collective consciousness. I have to speak on it, man, because it's not right what people do. People are too much rhetoric out here. Blaze says we keep reaching out. We have some of this in the works. Yeah. Elder Truth Seeker says, I've committed to support this week. Appreciate you. Elder Truth Seeker. I mean, sometimes, like, what we don't understand, man, like if you have extra five, put it on there. If If you have an extra $5 a day, extra dollar a day, whatever, put it on there. Every little bit helps. Um, Enid said it's sad to say, but if the stimulus checks were still coming, O would have more than 150K. I'm not sure. I can't say because, well, Negroes like to buy stuff, right? They like to buy stuff. So I can't say that I would be so confident that if they were getting their stimulus checks, they would, be more gracious. I just don't know. But maybe they would, though, Enid. Maybe they would. And says, greetings, Danger. Greetings to the Southern Belle. Yes, indeed. That is a true Georgia peach right there. And all honors, she's one of the Dora Milaje. And she is the hardest working woman when it comes to tagging and getting the word out for our brother Othel Wallace. So big up to Anne. Yes. Young Elder Truth Seeker says PP is political prisoners. Yeah, got it. Political prisoners. But that stance doesn't really work unless you can get groups like the UN involved. You have to, that's a tricky thing, you know, the jurisdiction and all that, So we don't even approach it from that stance. We strictly just look at it as civil rights and what the laws are on the books and the unequal yoking of one law for police officers and another law for civilians. You know what I mean? So approaching it like that, because I guarantee that no attorney is going to say that he's a political prisoner. Even though technically, yeah, we could make that argument, but it's just not going to hold up. I don't think. Collective Tribal Consciousness says the bookstore has approved. The bookstore has to be approved through that jail system. Okay, you do better going through one provided. Yeah, through the one provided. Yeah, thank you for that. Collective Consciousness. Yeah, just go with whatever is approved. And as much as we don't want to feed the giant that is Amazon, it's very easy to go through Amazon. Here is something also, family. Do not send The Art of War. Do not send any books dealing with military strategy. Do not send any books that are dealing with military strategy and violence or coups, or don't do it. It will not get to him. They will not give it to him. He probably can't even read 48 Laws of Power. I'm not sure with that one, but maybe he could, but I don't know. But yeah, don't say anything about with strategies of war and tactics and stuff like that. You're wasting your time. Pardon me, everybody. I'm literally having to switch from one internet source to another. The shit is so unreliable. But yeah, anyway, I'm back. Yeah, the books have to be soft cover also, family. That's the other thing. Soft cover. No hardcover books. Or you'll, just be wasted. They won't give it to him. Um, yeah. Okay, King T says facts, Remy. Ozone needs our energy in these challenging times. Please write him, y'all. Yeah, send him that energy. Send him a strength, as we say in Jamaica. Give him a strength because trust me, bro needs it. And as you can imagine, in a situation like this where you're facing death, literal death, like, so help our bro out and send him encouraging, um, send him encouragement and refrain from saying anything that would implicate him or yourself. Okay, so don't go and write the man talking crazy shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't go in there spitting your ideologies and all these things, and just let it be. Just big him up, tell him that you care and you love him, you know quote some scriptures, and that's it. What I mean, stuff like that. Tell him some basic things that's going on out in the world, you know what I mean, that might be kind of could make you laugh or something. Sometimes when I speak to him on the phone, I'll talk about some of the goofballs that we both know and we laugh about, you know what I mean? And he'll get a laugh, and it's always good for him to get a little bit of a laugh. So yeah, but don't talk stuff that just chill out. Enid said, I see. We need to do it as a group. Pick pick a high profile person, and the group tags them at once. Yes, I mean, okay, Enid. So I'll put your part of the door Melage. I'm gonna make a note of that because got Enid. That's it. Also, the other way that you can do it, so you can tag them to content that's already available on Justice for Ozone or other pages, or you can literally go to the person's page or YouTube channel or whatever, and you can just have a message that you typed up with the hashtag Otel Wallace, and just save it somewhere, copy and paste it onto the asking about it. Then y'all go ahead and like each other's comments, reply to each other's comments to generate a wave. That's what we need. Then I will come and I will see what y'all did, and I will come and like all of y'all comments and comment on the comments and all that good stuff. And then I might switch to a different account and come behind that. So y'all hit them with two or three other accounts, switch up and hit up the likes and all of that, right? And that's how we'll start to kind of shame people into taking notice, because we care about perceptions and social constructs. And if we feel like we're gonna look weak or look bad, we'll start to act because of the pressure. Hey y'all, make sure y'all give the stream a like. Just click the like button for me, please. Help OC's channel to continue to grow. Just hit that like button, please. Yeah. So 100 Black says, I'll be damned if I allow it. Will just be a sacrifice. Will just be a sacrifice. I'm not sure. Sacrifice or what, 100 Black, but remember now, make sure your house is in order. You know what I mean? Make sure your house is in order. If you're going to die, make sure that you're prepared to die, and that those that you leave behind are taken care of. Do not take unnecessary risk. Um, Innocent until proven guilty, period. Salute King T. Black Power says, thank you to everyone here. I'm sure it's the same followers in your IG lives, Remy. Yeah, we're gonna, and that's the thing, y'all. Please share. Like when y'all see me say I'm going live, tell a few people. I should have shared that too, like but yeah. But there's some new people here actually, because remember we're on OC's channel, so OC's followers are mostly here actually. So it's a mixed bag. Okay. Um, Enid says, I don't think people know that Ozone is just 28. Yeah. Yeah, he's a relatively young man, for sure. Collective Tribal Consciousness says, right, remember they read your letter before he does. Exactly. Yeah, remember that the youngest person that was put to death was a 14-year-old black boy, right? So, they have no regard for us when it comes to age or sex. Esoteric One, all honor, sister. Shalom. Good to see you. Um, Esoteric One says Danger Remy, OC the Great, Boss Talk inadvertently mentioned a 5K in reference to fundraising. Let's do that in some designated locations. Get your sponsors to donate to Ozone. Yeah, get your sponsors. But who has sponsors though? That's the thing, Esoteric One. Um, but but listen, if we can do it, in various designated locations, yeah, like a 5K walk. Okay, got you. Yeah. The only thing about it, though, sister, the only thing about it is like once a certain segment of the population knows that we are going to be out, physically, we may get opposition and they might want to come out with their nonsense and try to protest it. But then again, also that would be mostly like in Daytona Beach, and we don't necessarily have to do anything there where the incident allegedly occurred. So yeah, it can pop off. 5K walk, ATL is the place. Okay, 5K walk, great idea. Okay, all right. So I'm seeing the sisters are on board with a 5K walk. All right. So now it's all about promoting that 5K walk, right? So we got to get that out there. So we have to make a banner of some sort, some type of graphic and start to circulate that around the internet and get that to people in Atlanta. But yeah, I like that. Whatever, let's take a shot at all sorts of different strategies or ways to go about it. Elder Truth Seeker says, we sent support. Awesome. Much appreciated, family. Black Power says, wait, they read his mail? Well, yeah, it's jail. They not only do they read your mail, they listen in on all phone calls. So there is no privacy, none, and they tell you that before you even, so don't write anything that you can't afford for them to hear or read. uh Blasian Barbie says yes, they read all mail. Yep. Yes, come on, warrior queens, unite. Yeah, man. Dora Milaje, man. That's the Dora Milaje, the homie, the warrior queens, So yeah, I need y'all. So I'll set up the IG. I'm guessing everyone here, all the ladies, have an IG page. It seems like the easy way to communicate. But yeah, that's it. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I my intention was to get people to think about something that we don't like to think about, which is death, and you know uh, take care and be prepared in the event of especially on untimely death. If you get sick and you're in a prolonged state of sickness, it's like, okay, well, I'm sick, they've diagnosed me with a terminal illness, so now I have time to like get some things together. But not so much if you get shot, hit by a bus, struck by lightning and stuff. And that's mostly what I wanted to get across to the family. Untimely death. Okay, untimely death. You want to get your house in order so you can rest in peace in case of your untimely demise. Life insurance, trust, will, right? Power of attorney, those things. Get those basic things, right? From Legal Zoom, as one of the sisters also mentioned, right here, that you can look up for the 11 things that you need to do to get your house in order. So feel free to use that link right there. Estate planning, 11 things to do before you die. And that's what it is. Just Google that in your when you get a chance, family, and go and start to do these things, literally. Tomorrow is not promised, as they say, right? Yeah. Big up the sister Esoteric One. She's one of the most interesting Israelites that I've ever had a conversation with. She's I have a great deal of respect because she is very fluid in her thinking. She's very open-minded and tolerant of other sects or beliefs. So yeah, that's important. And because we black people are naturally believers, for the most part, 99% of us, we're not going to put down beliefs. So since we're not going to put down beliefs, we need to get along with all these various beliefs. And if people can be more open-minded, as the sister Esoteric One, we will have peace on earth, because you can believe in whatever you want, but you will not necessarily bother someone like Esoteric One. If you're a different type of Israelite, you're not gonna, if you're a Muslim or whatever, she is fine. She's very tolerant, and she explores things still, and I suspect that she's still in a state of learning. So that's very cool. Big up. I'm dismayed at people who think they know everything, and their book and their dogma, philosophy, religion, ideology has everything all right and exact. Those people, to me, are somewhat they're problematic in more ways than one, and we see the fallout from that. All right, y'all, if y'all have any other questions for me, let me know before I get out of here. Thank you for spending 2 hours and 37 minutes with me, or whatever amount of time that you put specifically or particularly had spent. If you have any questions for me, drop them now in the next minute, or else I'm going to conclude this. You know what I mean? And perhaps I'll be back tomorrow, right, at the same time, and we'll talk about some other things that need to be talked about. But I ran my mouth enough, way too long. You know what I mean? So thank you all so much. Thank you for your help. Hey, remember, if you got an extra 5, extra 10, 15, whatever you have, your coffee money, give it to bro. Cashapp, $ Ozonelegal, right? So let me drop that in there. Y'all, drop something for Ozone before I get out of here. Set up YouTube conscious community boxing match. Oh boy, yo. Blaze says, yeah, that's a good idea. We can add a free Ozone t-shirt. Yeah. For the walk, right, Blaze? Set up a YouTube conscious community boxing match. Hey, I'm with that one. There's a couple of Negroes I'd like to punch in the nose. I look at this guy Enki. Like, you see this guy Enki, man, Minister Enki. He's out here, going at Polite, and it's like, this nigga was Polite's right hand man. How do you make it make sense? Like, you were rolling with this guy for years, and all of a sudden now, I knew it, and I've been known, I'm like, yeah, you knew all along, but you didn't say shit when you were sharing the bag with the Negro, right? Not saying Polite is guilty, because I don't know for certain. I suspect foul play was going on with what he was doing, but we still have to wait for the verdict for more evidence to get his side of the story, right? But just hypothetically speaking, if he was guilty of some weirdo, like, what you call that, that wackadoo shit, that debauchery, if he is guilty of violating a 14-year-old girl, you, Minister Enki, that were riding with him for years, and having little fallouts with him, but coming back, and had the new covenant shirt and all of that. You were complicit. So now you're online pointing the finger at Son Netter and all these other people saying this one and that one, and I knew Polite was this and that, but you were a part of that shit. Because people like me, I've been around for a while, so I go back with Polite to like 2010, right? I was in Harlem several times, National Black Theater, 125th, all of that, right? Minister Enki, I remember also, I bought a product from this guy when I was stupid enough to do that, and it was like a yeast cleanse or something. And this nigga never sent me my product, $32 I think it was, never sent me my product. Minister Enki sent you a message on Facebook. You said that you were going to send it, and you were going to send me extra for the wait. To this day, never got that product, never got my money back. Yeah. So that's when him and Ali Muhammad were beefing, calling each other all types of names, and so crazy. These conscious people. Check out the what I was talking about in the other stream that from a few nights ago. What's up with this conscious community or something like that. Yeah. But a boxing match though. Anthony Mars says no belief, spirituality, go within. Belief is what got us in doom. I would tend to agree, Anthony, but your people love it and they're not going to leave it alone. Even the most intelligent among them. It seems to be an innate, inborn concept. They can't help it. It's in their very nature. I am agnostic or atheist, depending on how, some little variations in definitions. But I am willing to accept that your God could be real when the evidence has been brought to me. That's the difference between me and believers, And also the difference between me and believers is that, well, you believe in one God. You're one God short of being an atheist. You see? You're one God short. You don't believe in Thor and Frigga and, Dionysus and Horus and Set. You don't believe in those. You don't believe in any of the other gods. But you believe in one. And me, I don't believe in any of them, including the one that you believe. So you are also an atheist, almost an atheist except for one. Interesting, isn't it? But let me leave you all alone. I don't want to piss you all off. Chill out. Everybody's entitled to believe what they will. I try not to believe so much because in the word believe is the word lie. Okay. Enid says we'll have to solicit sponsors. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to do. I don't know. That would be problematic, Enid, because who is going to sponsor somebody who is considered a villain? Whose brand, is going to, unless our sponsors are going to be anonymous, and in that case, they're not quite sponsors. And P says, Ozone's innocent, donate, spread awareness. Yes, that part. Bleak Gilliam says the boxing match would raise money. Yes, it would, and it would relieve some stress. It would be therapeutic for some of us, no doubt. So a boxing match, a mixed martial arts match, yeah, some type of contest of testosterone. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's get Young Pharaoh versus Polite. Can we get that? Can we set that off? Young Pharaoh versus, in this corner, the young phenom. In this corner, the young Pharaoh. One of them the student of a known pedophile serving a life sentence in federal penitentiary, and the other, someone who wanted to be like that one who had the mentor who was a pedophile. I think that's interesting too, that young Pharaoh literally wants to be polite, but simultaneously hates that guy. You know, he even has the eye of Horus, to use the Greek name. You know, he even has the eye now. Remember, it was polite that was doing that. Remember, it was polite that was saying the black woman is God, and then Pharaoh came and act like he started it, and that really came from Tahuti, natural Tahuti. So it was natural Tahuti and then polite, and preceded natural Tahuti. You know, it was written in books by scholars that, you know, black women and women in general in several cultures were revered as goddess. But yeah, Enid said January is a month. January is a month for ATL. I live in Clayton County, mostly black. There's a recreation center there. I'll check it out. Okay, Enid, go. Appreciate you. That's what I'm talking about. You know, see the women, they're moving. John says, is there another way to send money besides Cashapp? I want to send 100. John, yes, absolutely. Here's the website. Blaze, if you're still in the room, please drop the website. I'm also doing it too, just in case you left. But actually, let me just drop the link. It's We Stand with Ozone, family. We stand with ozone.com, because we really need that $100. Trust me, we really. And that is PayPal. I'm probably late. Somebody probably already answered you, but just in case they haven't, it's we stand with ozone.com for the brother that asked that question. John, it's we stand with ozone.com, and when you go there, it's a PayPal run operation. You don't need PayPal, you don't need a PayPal account. However, if you don't have PayPal, just click on the PayPal button and then fill in your debit or credit card information, and then you will see the option at the bottom to check out as guest. Okay, check out as guest. So please send that $100 for the brother. We really appreciate it. Check out as guests for the on we stand with ozone.com. What else? 100 Black says, I was just never into Sonetta nor Polite. They did not move me. Yeah, I will admit that, you know, some of what Polite was showing, I was intrigued. Sonetta, I like the platform because, well, it was a variety, right? There were different people coming in. Some of them resonated with me, some of them didn't. I didn't stay long because a lot of what they were kicking I already was familiar with, and like you, wasn't really that impressed. But some of it was cool. Like, you know, a lot of the information that Seti was sharing, you know, was cool, and they was somewhat entertaining sometimes, to be honest. Like, we like the pasa thing sometimes. We like to sip a little bit of tea, even myself. Like, so, like, you know, I was at the debate, you know, like I was either at the debate or watching the debate online between Polite and Seti, and that turned into a crazy thing. You know, Seti was saying some crazy shit, you know, and bringing up some homo stuff, and it was mother effer this, that, and you know how Seti gets, you know. So some of it can be entertaining, but, you know, I lost $1,500 messing with Polite, you know, because of that status correction thing. And that's why young Pharaoh to this day hates Polite, right? Because he paid 500. I lost 3 times that amount, right? And I didn't lose it to Polite directly. I lost it to his hidden hand. This nigga named, what's his name? Lawan Abram. Yeah, he's the one that's low key, but he's supposed to be the head caseworker. He's the one that I paid my 1,500. Now, technically, they didn't scam me though, because they did give me a product, but it took a long ass time, and this guy was belligerent. Literally hung up the phone on me when I asked for a refund. I literally had to call Polite I literally had to call Polite and complain. This is when I contacted Polite on Facebook, and Polite called me. To his credit, and got on this individual, Luwan Abram, and then he came and tried to apologize and send me the trust. But it was incomplete, was full of typos, and he had my mother as a he and he had me as a she. It was just crazy. It was bananas. And then he was saying, well, I needed to do this other thing in order for the status correction thing to work, and that's another $300 and something. And I'm looking like, I had to wait over a year to get this, and you think I'm gonna pay you another $300 and something for this, and you didn't tell me that I needed this for all this time that I've been fuck out of here. So these are the kind of people, man. And this guy, Luwan Abram, he claimed to be like, into the stock market and all these things. And these niggas, a lot of them, they didn't believe in what Polite was teaching, but they were sharing the bag, so they went along with it. When Polite was talking about aliens and shit, Lawan Abram was silent. I once asked that guy, hey, what do you think about what Polite and the UFOs? I don't know nothing about that. He was like offended that I even asked, but he was still going along. I think he's a Christian, but he was still going along with what Polite was doing and saying, you see. But now they'll turn around and say, oh, no, Polite was this and that. We already knew all along, like this stinky inky, right? So, hopefully, John Taliaferro got that information. 100 Black says, I was just never okay. Got that. Collective Tribe Consciousness says, where does your accent come from? It comes from the concrete jungles of Kingston, Jamaica, family. Yeah. Enid says, a conscious community boxing match. They don't fight, they debate. Yeah, unfortunately. But some of them have wanted to fight, though. So I think it's times some of them get some of that off their chest. We've had some close ones where remember Zion, Lex, and Seti when they were in Sarnetta's house. Looked like Seti didn't want it, though. But anyway, we're not here for that stuff, man. But set it up, though. Bleak says, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Too much capping. Yeah. Bleak says there's a lot of militant types perpetrating tough guy personas. Yeah, exactly. And these people, they'll act like they're about it, and they're gonna call police on you. That's why don't feed into that shit. Put on your device, to, breathe and meditate, and recognize that you don't even have to respond to niggas. Just let it be and go live your life, because people will get you caught up in shit. They'll talk all that shit, and then they'll dial 911. Oh, so he threatened my life. Don't do it. Leave these people alone. These characters are just that. They're characters. Yeah. All this talk of pull-ups and all that shit, leave it alone, man. Young Elder says, victims qualification guaranteed. Produce justice. Enid says, yes, unity, respect all, no matter religion. Yeah, well, we can certainly make an effort, right? Some people are very orthodox, and then, fortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. MWTV versus SA. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of different. Yes, YP and Polite. Yeah, that would be. I think I know who would win that one. Enid said YP and Polite a little busy right now. Yes, indeed. No, they're very busy. Yeah, they're very busy. They got bigger fish to fry. YP is literally falling apart in front of our very eyes, right? We're looking at someone unravel in front of our very eyes, literally. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all hit the Cashapp. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Everybody in here hit the like button already. Please do me that favor if y'all haven't done that already. But yeah, man, They we're literally watching Pharaoh fall apart, and I'm literally hearing people come up with conspiracy theories. Oh, we love the conspiracy theories, Illuminati and all. CIA is coming after YP, right? No, not really. His girl said he's been doing a bunch of mushrooms, and as I've stated previously, people think I'm attacking people that smoke weed. If you, your constitution, your biological constitution is a certain way, especially if you have anyone in your family that has mental illness, you shouldn't get high. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's weed or whatever. You shouldn't take substances that alter your mind, because you could trigger an event, literally become schizophrenic, because schizophrenias, they eventually have an event, where they're triggered, and the event that is catastrophic basically, and usually can't be reversed. So some people shouldn't be fucking with mushrooms. There's people who have ruined themselves messing with mushrooms. And I know that people don't want to hear it, but there's people who have also ruined themselves smoking weed. So yeah, everything ain't for everybody. And some people have gone on to a degree of spiritual enlightenment from mushrooms too. But it depends on your own physical makeup. And as the teaching that we saw, that was in like Star Wars, right? When you go into the cave, you're taking what is already in you in there, right? And thus you're facing Vader, and Vader is inside of you, and Vader manifests inside of the cave when Luke went in there as a part of his Jedi training. So I might have things in me that using the mushroom is going to bring out. And when I begin to hallucinate, these things might be demonic. And I may open a portal that I am not ready for. So that's the other thing. A lot of us are pretending to be adepts when we are neophytes. I'm going to say that again. Just like bro said, a lot of these people out here with these personas, these tough guy personas, these posers, a lot of us are pretending to be adepts when we are neophytes. We're pretending to be experts when we're novices. And we're trying to get into some shit that we're not ready for. Before you get into all this mystic shit, I shouldn't say shit, but all the mysticism, do the basic. It perplexed me to see somebody with a pot belly and they're falling apart physically, talking about kundalini and chakras, when you have not mastered the basic fundamental discipline of taking care of your physical body. Makes no sense. So yeah. Blaze says people lose focus so fast. Ego is the enemy. Yeah. Ego is the enemy of our leaders. We have none. Yeah, we have none. I'm the one that made a video titled No Gods, No Leaders, No Masters. And that's what I stand on. I don't think we need any leaders. I think we need cooperation. I think that everyone has something to offer. And I think we can move like the ants, right? And I know there's a queen in the colony, but forget that shit, man. We don't need kings and queens. Everybody weren't kangs and quangs, okay? Most of us were peasants, even in going back to our heyday, going to ancient Kemet. We were farmers, okay? Not kings. Everybody can't be kings. It kills me to hear black people say that. We were kings and queens. Really? No. There were very few kings and queens, and they passed that shit down to the families. I will not be ruled. So I don't need a king. I don't need a queen. I don't need a master, and I don't need a deity to know right from wrong. That is an inborn concept in I and I. So that's what we need. We need cooperation. We need people that are of like minds to come together and build things that are substantial. things that your children will be able to use after you're gone. And we need to do them all over this land and eventually into other countries. Why is this important to be all over the place? Because there is a natural mystic and a change happening on this earth right now. Your sun has woken up where it was in a grand solar minimum, as they call it. It is now awoken into the next stage, which goes in an 11-year cycle. And now all this activity is going on the sun. And that activity, these solar storms and these coronal mass ejections and pushing out of plasma that are hurled towards our earth, well, that's going to affect us. The grand solar minimum was affecting us also when there was very little activity. So we want a balance. We don't want there to be little to no activity, and we don't want too much. And before we had the very little to nothing, and now we have a whole lot. So we're seeing that the balance to the force is in jeopardy. There's no balance. It's just a swing up and down, radical left, right, red versus blue, black versus white, constantly. Israelite versus Kemetic philosophy, constant polarization. We need to simmer some of that down, man. And remember that we need air, we need water, we need food, we need shelter, and we need protection. Let's work together on that. Everybody is not going to come together. Work with the people that are in your tribe that suits you best. To be honest, I'm probably never going to go out of my way to. My tribe is people that are pro-black, heterosexual, entrepreneurial minded, and I can't remember the fourth pillar of my own thing, but yeah, black men. I tend to try to work with black men that are heterosexual, pro-black, and entrepreneurs. And there's a reason for that. That's my try. I can get more done with them. And especially if I'm creating a group, I would, just do that with a bunch of men for the most part, because I see the chaos that comes when we mix the groups in with the women and people are undisciplined and everybody's got their own different ideology and stuff, right? But I tend to look for those people to build with. And if I can build with others, yes, so be it. But oftentimes it becomes a problem. So I just said, well, let me just work with who. And if you're an Israelite, well, y'all should be building. If you subscribe to the Quran, y'all should be building. You should. Why not? If you're a part of something and they're not building anything, well, maybe it's time to move on to something else. That's what I'm thinking. Because if it's all about talk and quoting scriptures and quoting books, when that hurricane comes, when you lose power, when food is scarce and all that, you can keep quoting your books. You can keep talking about your prophets, but you're still going to be hungry. I guarantee it. Because I've seen people make prophecies and the prophecies were not fulfilled. And there's dozens of cases of those. And what do those people do? They move the prophecy to another date. So I personally, I wouldn't, bet my life on that. But Shalom, light brown eyes. I know my worth. B1 says, how about black men just being decent people? Well, of course, we have some black men that are decent people. I would hope that you have found some of them. I know my worth. So yeah, we have to be decent people. But we have to be more than just decent people. El Colo says, true words I share. Oh no, that's the person. El Cholo, that name is long as a. God made us all equal, the same. Only a fool will seek evil. Well, it's easy to disprove that one, El Cholo. God did not make all of us equal. We could say that we our rights as human beings, right? Our unalienable or inalienable, which are our God-given rights, in terms of you should respect my life and I should respect yours. That is equal. But we decide that we can choose not to respect other people's life. In fact, we've created caste systems, right? Poor versus middle class versus filthy rich versus really filthy rich. We created those things. God has people born in poverty on one hand, has another person over here who is obviously wicked, born with a gold spoon in his mouth. One person born as conjoined twins attached to each other, another person born with half a heart. So, no, we're not created equal. And that is obvious to see. Just like we are literally smarter than a lion, some people are smarter than others. Therefore, they take advantage of others using their cunning, using their intelligence. So, no, we're not created equal. We want to believe that, but in actuality, not really. Bleak says, it was a question, no emotional dictation. Okay, I don't know what that was about right there. Um, Elder Truth says, I am still learning by Neely Fuller Jr. We are still learning. Yes, Neely Fuller, our esteemed elder. And y'all can find some of his stuff in short animated videos on here. Carlito's Way, I think Carlito's Way 44 or something. I think that's a channel. That person has had Neely Fuller stuff up for years. But yeah, I subscribe to what Neely Fuller says. Like one of the things Neely Fuller says, like, essentially niggas shouldn't really meet up unless they have a specific purpose and it has been agreed upon before the meet. But he says niggas shouldn't just be hanging out because a bunch of people with no aim hanging out that are ignorant are going to collide and cause harm to themselves. And I agree with that 100%. And I can honestly say I have lived this long because I have been somewhat of a loner. And I have taken myself, even when I was in the streets, I didn't hang out on the corner. Wasn't into sipping 40s and burning blunts. When I was smoking, I didn't have any problem doing that between myself and one or two people, or just myself or with just one or two people. But a crowd of Negroes, no. So that's one of the principles from Neely Fuller. He also talks about the 9 aspects of human the 9 parts of like society and human existence, the aspects of life that we need to master, including financial, health, media, all these different things. I think there's 9 of them, and how we need to take control of all those areas. Yeah. Silent Assassin says straight up fam. Salute Silent Assassin B1. 100 Black says the name combo though is a subject you should be able to hold to yourself. The question is insightful. The name combo is a subject you should be able to hold to yourself. The question is insightful. I'm late on that, so I'm not really sure. Um, okay, go ahead, Bleak. The question I asked. Okay, that's between you and Bleak. I know my word says I am nothing without purpose. I don't grow without love. That part. Yeah, you need purpose or you'll be all over the place, man. You're like a paper bag in the wind, as my elder would say when I was a Hebrew Israelite. Rest in peace, Elder Ishkael. He spoke fluent Hebrew. He would always, Jake, like a paper bag in a paper bag blowing down the street. Wherever the wind blow, Jake on all the place. Yeah. Bleak says, is it conspiracy to think that your guy Delta gave up ozone and spite? Oh my goodness. What are we discussing? Conspiracy. Delta though, why would you think, and I don't even like mentioning niggas' names because people are highly emotional and then they say, oh, Remy said my name and so on and so forth, and be looking to talk, little goofball shit. But what Bleak, what would make you, you know, what would make you think that there was that guy would give them up? I'm guessing you're thinking this person is an agent. We like to use that word a lot. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I mean, anything is possible, but I have no reason to think that. Um, that's wild, though. That's wild, man. Y'all crazy, man. Hey, y'all are wild, man. You mean, yo, wild, man. In Baltimore, you wild coon. They say you're wild coon. You mean? Who that? Salute. Esoteric One says, what keeps one person balanced may differ from yours as long as you can come together and carry out a mission. Yeah, as long as you can. Yeah. That's the thing, as long as you can. If it does not prevent you, but it often does. You see, it's not a matter of what is ideal. We're not talking it as it could be. We're talking it as it is. As my artist says, I'd say it like it is, not like it might be. Some motherfuckers ain't gotta like me. Bone to killer. But yeah, it prevents people. It does. It prevents them. That's the thing. Obviously, it does. But I think the prevention stops when there's disaster. When there's disaster. Yeah, because when there's disaster of epic proportions, everybody just bands together. There's no question. All that other stuff goes out the door. We in survival mode. We got to get water and food. There it is. There's a lion chasing us. All of that goes out the door. So we get real funny when we're living in not good times. We have all this outrage and we get very nitpicky and we have all this shit going on as to why human beings can't get along. But when if an asteroid the size of Connecticut hits a part of this earth and blots out the sun and causes a mini ice age, all of that go out the window. All of it. And that's when you will see people come together because of disaster. Yeah. I would say agent just I wouldn't say agent just cooperating informant. Okay. Somebody doesn't like y'all talking about Delta. Paperwork. If not paperwork, if not quiet, if not quite, you meant on the set. If paperwork, if not okay, got you. Paperwork, if not quiet on the set. Yeah, if you're going to bring allegations, always at least be able to give us some context as to why, some example or something, preferably something in writing, like nigga was charged and is constantly under investigation, something, without just, we have too many hunches going on. Blaze says, why do you sound like him? You mean? Yeah. You are cool. You are cool. Esoteric One says, what keeps you sane may not be necessary for others. Move as one. What keeps you sane may not be necessary for others. Yeah, well, I mean, Esoteric One, that's why it's best to move with people who are like you, because if what keeps me sane might not be necessary for others, it's likely that they're going to be participating in some shit that drives me crazy, possibly, and that I'm not going to be able to tolerate. You see, so it's best, you can move as one, but I think we're always going to be moving in groups. There's always going to be tribes because people are they're just going to differ. And let's face it, sometimes you just can't be around certain motherfuckers because, well, they will prompt you to do them bodily harm, to say the least. Bleak says, I got hella. Okay, well, we don't know. We don't see any context. We just see allegation. Bleak says the discovery haven't dropped yet. The discovery for who? But okay, I got you. Yeah, it hasn't. But yeah, I mean, I have no reason to believe it would implicate that person. So, what reason do you have to believe that the discovery would implicate that person? Bleak, So, are you just stirring the pot, my man? Chill out, bro. Wait till when the discovery drops, then bring it up again. I know my word says pen is more mighty than the sword in certain cases. In certain cases. So sometimes, maybe most times, perhaps, but sometimes you need a sword, though. Esoteric One said, you said we're not created equal. Yes, we are not created equal. Esoteric One says, like minds are the key. Yeah, absolutely. Like minds. And because we're not created equal and we don't think the same way, why did my light just go out? I guess it's time for me to get off of here anyway. Yo, what's going on? I think this room is haunted, y'all. Oh shit, yeah. I think there's a poltergeist in here. Hey, give me a second, y'all. I gotta go ghost busting. Yeah, because we're not created equal and we don't think exactly alike is why we have problems. It's a beautiful thing that we don't think alike exactly, right? We need variety, but at the same time, there's two sides to everything. There's a good and bad to everything. So because we don't think alike and we have so much variation in thought and feeling, we're going to eventually collide because some people don't like what I'm doing over here. So 100 Black says, esoteric, I stress centralization of our efforts. Yeah, ideally centralization. 100 Black, ideally, but we have to put some of our some of our ideologies have to be put on the back burner, because those of us who feel like their ideology comes before everything, well, they're hard to work with. they're hard to get anything done because, well, they're going to tell you that you, for example, can't do this and that on the Shabbat and so on. And you need to wear your fringes and grow your beard and so on. And that those things are deal breaker for them. So, but that's okay too. Like, let them do their thing. Don't worry about them. Go work with those who will cooperate. Cooperation, what we need. We don't need leaders, gods, prophets, and masters, and all of that. We need cooperation from the competent. Um, Bleak says, two, nobody threatens more people on the internet with weapons in hand, yet he's still free. Oh, okay. So number one was, well, in short, he's wildly emotional and irrational on a childlike level. Yeah, but that doesn't. There's so many of those people that exist. That doesn't mean that you're. You know what I mean? I mean, threats. I wrap you up, put you in a plastic bag, take you out like my name threats. um, yeah, but yeah, that doesn't. And then you say nobody threatens more people. Well, I. Yeah, but that's still not. But I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. JBATL says Remy and hit your DM up on two different accounts. Why don't you respond, bro? On two different accounts, you got to hit the Danger Remy account because the Justice for Ozone page I'm not able to access that. It has been flagged or whatever. It's been suspended. Ever since that day that I actually called you out on that page, in fact, JBATL, ever since that day, the page has been flagged and I've been unable to use it. So, yeah, you can contact me on the Danger Remy page or you DM me there. I don't know what other accounts you might have tried, but I haven't received anything on the Danger Remy account. So send me the message there. Bleak says, I happen to know he knew that he knew Spite was gonna in Florida. Yeah, all right, so okay, yeah, but bro, but Spite literally told that to the internet. That's what y'all act like this was some secret or like this. He told it to the internet. There's literally videos still online of him, talking in somewhat of a provocative manner. So like they showed it on the news, him saying he's gonna raise hell or whatever, or blah blah. Allegedly, I don't listen. Why am I even talking about these people? Because I don't like to get down in this type of thing because I don't want anybody, like getting emotional with I and I. So, but yeah, no, that still doesn't. He said that online for everyone to hear, and somebody reported him. Like any person could have done that on Instagram. Anyone. So, yeah, that's now. If he hadn't, this is how you would know, Bleak. If he hadn't told a soul, and it was only among like 3 people, now you could have a case. But no, man, he said that to everybody online, man. Esoteric One says, I don't. Survival is a group effort. Agreed, obviously, no doubt about it. It's definitely a group effort. JBATL says Spite was telling everybody what he was exactly. Yeah, shit. Sit your goofy ass down, Bleak. Yeah, like I said, yeah, he told everybody. Y'all are too quick to accuse people, Bleak. You know what I mean? Like I literally heard people were saying, well, this one turned in ozone, and it's like, not really, not necessarily. I mean, if you look at what's reported on the news, they kind of tell you how it happened. So, you know, I even heard this old lady, and that's y'all gotta chill with that because it becomes dangerous, like people, some people can take that seriously. So you have like this old lady that's saying, implying that one of another of Ozone's the mother of Ozone's children, you know, might have collected the reward. So you have people accusing one mother and somebody else accusing, and there is no basis for this, none. So except maybe I don't like that person because the woman that's making the accusation, this Linda Evans, Queen of Radio, of course, um, she doesn't like the person who she's making the accusation or the implication towards. Uh, okay, Black says, right, we gotta shake the given ways coming from 400 years of systematic humdrum. Yeah, we do. We have a lot to shake off, man. But we are also distracted by the times. There's so much that's distracting us that we're not doing the work. So, we're lost in social media and, we having a good time. So, we see a lot of mental illness among our people, for example. Uh, Bleak says, and he spent half of last year on the internet consorting with open enemies, going as far as saying, back the blue, and all honors, 3%. Yeah, to me, that's a sign of mental illness. It's not a sign of snitching. It's instability of the mind, brain. And that's why I stress that we need therapy. We need help. And that's not a diss, okay? For those niggas, like, that's not a diss. We all need therapy. We need people to talk to. We need counsel, okay? That's something that should be done on a regular basis, okay? So, but that's my assessment of that brother. That's my personal assessment. And others too see him that way. Um, but I don't, I'm not gonna make accusations though. But I mean, it's wild. Yeah, I see a bunch of wild shit, that made zero sense. But yeah, I get. Listen, I get where you're coming from to a degree, but you need evidence. Um, Silent Assassin say, yeah, he did tell everybody. Yep. Um, who shot John? Oh man. I know my word says, Bleak, Bleak, you snitching to the internet now. Stop typing. Somebody take his keyboard. Oh man, is it still snitching if you snitch on the snitch? I'm not saying anybody is a snitch. I'm just saying in the context of this, hypothetically speaking. But yeah, let's chill out. Hey, Bleak, chill out, man. Like, let's just drop it, man. If you got evidence, bring it to the next stream. But you can't. You're going on a hunch, and I get what you're taking what the behavior that's been erratic and crazy, and you're extrapolating from that. What I mean, I get it, but it's not fair, man. And it's not like you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you in the court of law. You know what I mean? So you still need evidence. So all right, chill out, bro. Let's just drop it and move on because we're turning this into something that it's not. Tomorrow people are going to be upset and blah blah blah. Bleak keyboard got muscles. Uh, yeah, stop it, stop it. As esoteric one said. Um, yeah. Yep. We know it. Justice Exodus. Um, I know my word says, why you telling me I don't want to sleep? Who want who Oh man, y'all lost me. I'm good. All right, cool. Um, I don't want to sleep with you. All right, thank you, Bleak. I appreciate it, bro. Silent Assassin says, "Stop with the accusations, Bleak. More important." Yeah. Real shit. All right, so we're moving on. Um, let's type about cake baking. Yeah. All right, y'all. So again, get your house in order. You know, most of us in this chat room do not have a will. Okay, let's sort that out. Okay, some of us probably don't have any life insurance, and we have children. Let's sort that out. Okay, if you carry guns, you should have concealed carry insurance. Some of us don't have that. Let's sort that out, okay? So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's take care of ourselves. Um, JBATL says the deadline Biden didn't extend ends tomorrow. Let's see how many people are about to die. What deadline? The deadline for evictions or which deadline? Because there's several deadlines for different things out there. But yeah, I know Biden was like, he said in regards to the people who took responsibility for the bombing in Afghanistan. You hear what he said, right? We will not forgive. We will hunt you down and make you pay. So that is the stance, right? That's gangster. That's violence. That is the state. No forgiveness. Even though this, some would have you believe that this country was founded on Christian values. People on the right, they like to promote that, Christian. No, well, Jesus was on some turn the other cheek shit. He was, the earth is for the meek and all of that. But we'll not forgive. We will hunt you down. Hmm? Oh yeah, they pulling out. Deadline for they pulling out tomorrow. I mean, shit was crazy. People falling from planes taking off. People desperate to live, hanging on to a plane going down the runway, taking off, and fall from the sky, splat. So yeah, I mean, how many Americans were lost? Like 13 in that situation. That happened a couple of days ago, 3-4 days ago. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But you're most welcome, Blaze. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, if y'all have not donated, donate something to the brother, please. Let me see. Let me see if the bro donated. Let me see if John gave that donation. John wanted to donate $100. Let me see what's going on. All right, our last donation was at 824 for $20. We had a $5 donation at 639. We had a $100 donation at 612. We had a $150 donation from Sean. I remember that name. Appreciate you for $150. That was at 5:30. Okay, so I know that we owe some of this to Boss Talk. That's been promoting the website. So hey, big up Boss Talk. Y'all go over there and show him some love. Because on his channel he has the Cashapp and the website. So y'all show little bro some love. Every Monday he does a 12 hour fundraiser. He's on there talking about and he posts the website and the Cash App. So big up. King T said we raised $365. Okay, at Boss Talk. Okay, awesome. All right. Is that it, King T? Is that from like Do you know where that was sent? And I mean, is that sent to us, or do I have to wait for Boss Dog to send that over? But in any case, yeah, Chatty Catty as our president. Yeah. Yep. 12 hours. Yeah. Big up little bro, man. He you know, he stay lit over there. You know, he stay in the cloud, but yeah, boss doing his thing though. Appreciate you, bro. We stand with ozone.com. That is the only website to donate. And the cash app is $Ozonelegal. That is $Ozone Legal. That is the cash app to donate. If y'all got cash app, drop something on it before I go, y'all. Um, or go to we stand with ozone.com and drop something on it there. I mean, all right. I'm gonna let y'all go, man. Thank y'all for coming. If y'all don't have anything else for me, I'm going to bid you adieu, as they would say in France. Um, go on, go in peace. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself, right? And prepare to die, because one day you will die. So make sure that your house is in order. All right. Um, yes, sir. We'll holler tomorrow, JBATL. All right. Blaze, have a good night, and take care of your babies and stuff. And yeah, everybody, peace out. I'm out. I'm going to get my beauty rest. All right. All honors, everybody. Thank you for listening to me run my mouth. See you next time. I'll probably do this tomorrow though, for not so long though, but maybe an hour. All right. Peace, everybody.